Going live now. Just let me make sure this is playing, my brother. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Xbox All In channel host Sega Forever, and I'm joined by the one and only Sega Man. Shout yourself out, brother.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing, man? I'm doing another show with my brother, Sega Forever, man, the Wrecking Crew podcast, man. We're gonna have some topics we gotta talk about, man, and hopefully we'll have our brother Hebot join us too, huh?
Yeah, we know Hebot's been really busy lately. Hebot's been going through a lot of stuff right now, handling real world situations. You know, sometimes we forget, dude. We're kind of blessed to do stuff like this, man, where we can put aside the real world stuff that we both deal with every day.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah.
do a show like this, you know, and kind of unwind and relax a little bit. Even though I think some of the topics we talk about might might ratchet up the stress levels a little bit. Um,
Oh yeah,
it's all good. It's all in fun. Good times, man. Good times.
oh yeah.
But we were talking prior to this, man, and we were having such a great conversation. Because I had to eat dinner, guys. I ain't gonna lie. Um, my order got messed up, but Uber Eats recovered, man. They got it right, so your boy was able to eat, man, because I was hungry. And so Sega Man was gracious enough to indulge me, let me get my food, and then we were also trying to wait for Hebot to get him in here, because I'm pretty sure the stuff that we're talking about, if you guys listen to our last podcast, the stuff that we talk about, Hebot is very passionate about.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Great points, and I think a lot of people need to hear his points of view because he can educate you guys a little bit, because it's so versed in gaming culture, and to me that's the biggest thing right now, that we should be focusing on is the actual culture of gaming. Um, I think it's really important, especially as we're moving forward. Me and Sega Man, we kind of grew up in that, right, brother? I mean, I know you have a big collection, you know.
Oh yeah, man. Yep, I still do. You know, I still got a big Sega Saturn collection, Dreamcast. Actually, I got a good amount of 3DO games in the system. You know, Turbo Graphics. You know, TurboGrafx 16. A little bit of old Nintendo stuff like Super Nintendo. I got a lot of shoot 'em ups on there and stuff like that, but mostly Sega Genesis and Master System stuff like that, and Saturn. A lot of those, games. And I got a 32X also.
Nice. Dude, I
Yeah,
always regret the fact that I sold my stuff. I didn't have an extensive collection as you, but I have some really great games that I love to play, and there's times I miss. I wish I could just throw it back on, just hook up my systems and just
well,
play.
but you had games I never had. Like you had what is it called? Panzer Zag and Zwei. You had that. I never had that. That's
Oh yeah,
expensive. I think it's like $3,000 now. That's expensive, man.
I mean, I was kind of like you back then. I was definitely more into like platformers. That's why I love Sonic so much.
Yeah,
Shooters like you, shoot 'em ups, fighting
yeah,
games, definitely sports games, most definitely. So I was a different beast back then. And so Panzer Dragon was just, it's just right up my alley.
Panzer Dragon, man. That was I had Panzer Dragon 2
Yeah.
and 1. I still have those, but I never got the RPG. The RPG was expensive.
Oh, dude, the RPG was amazing. Like, sometimes when you play a game and it's in a specific genre, and then they try and cross pollinate, try and
Yeah,
cross genres, crossing the streams, I like to say. Sometimes it works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, man, with Panzer Dragon Saga, it was on point. It's like they took the best parts of
yeah,
why people like Panzer Dragon Saga, expanded it, and then threw it in a pot of all this RPG goodness, dude. It was, and it's an action RPG, right? In a sense, it
yeah.
was a combination of both. And thinking about it right now, even I mean, it was hard to believe that they actually pulled it off. You know,
Yeah, and it's a very sought after game. People still do videos about it, podcasts sometimes. That was a very sought after game, man.
yeah, it definitely hit above its pay grade. There's a lot of things that they did that incorporated some of the best parts of the actual series, right? And again,
Yeah,
putting it in a different environment. A
yeah,
lot of people can't handle that, dude. A lot of people can't pull it off, and that's just credit to the team, right? That created that game, and to Sega itself, man. To me, that's like one of that's like a magnum opus for them. Of some one of
Yeah.
the best games they ever created. And we're Sega guys, so we should just I used to collect a lot of stuff just because I have the Sega brand on it, even though
Yeah.
it wasn't a genre that I liked. But they had a particular style, and Sega was able to um, do a combination of both style and gameplay, which is
Oh
why
yeah.
guys like us
Big
to
time.
this day, because we remember those times.
Yeah, they were always pushing the envelope. They were always pushing the envelope, making all these different, peripherals and different things, just trying different things like Microsoft. Microsoft is like the Sega of today. They try different things.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what Sega did. Sega tried different things. Some worked, some didn't. Like the 32X didn't really work out, but I mean, they did have some decent games that were on it. Not everything was like, not bad, but they did have some decent games on the system. It just didn't do as well because the Saturn was coming out right after it. Yeah, so it was the way they did it. That's the problem, because Saturn was right around the corner. So they did it a little too late, bringing out the 32X.
And that was the thing about Sega that we loved the most, though, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
they were cutting edge, right? They gave us these experiences, and like they always didn't hit, but I definitely would always appreciate that they put that effort into it.
Yeah.
And like I say on this podcast all the time, this is one of the reasons why I'm an Xbox guy now, because just like Sega Man said, dude, I mean, there's nobody doing what Sega did back in the day, except for
Nope.
Microsoft right now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Microsoft is like, I've always said, the first Xbox that came out was the Dreamcast 2.
Right.
I always said that. It was Dreamcast Part 2. It was the Dreamcast 2. It just wasn't, it was Microsoft's Xbox. But there's a lot of people there's some people that said that, like Hebot would say that, it was actually the Dreamcast 2. That's what that system really was.
There's definitely Sega DNA encoded.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Xbox,
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the Xbox as a whole,
Yeah.
And this is why when some people say, "Oh, why?" If you're a Sega fan, because even when I played Xbox back in the day, people was like, "Oh, you should have Sega." My gamer tag, my original gamer tag was Sega for life,
Yeah.
and so which I lost, and so I had to use Sega forever. But people say all the time, "But you have Sega in your title, but you play Xbox," and that's the reason why, because nobody has been able to copy a Sega on a level, except for Microsoft with its Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm talking hardware, I'm talking controllers, I'm talking games, right? This is the kind of stuff that you experience with Xbox, guys like us, and I know we're older, right?
Yeah.
This is what we experienced with Sega back in the day, And when I say Microsoft, guys, it's set on purpose. I'm doing that on purpose because it is an ecosystem now, and in fact, some of the topics we're going to cover, the hand of Microsoft is now in everything that Xbox does. Now, I'm not one of these gloom and doom type of guys that's going to sit here and just think that Satya and the crew is just trying to overrun everything, right? We got to remember, guys, like I said on my podcast before, it's a double-edged sword effect, right? You get the money and the backing, but now you're also going to get the attention. That's just the way business is run. That's the reality of it. And that's something, if you have a problem with, you got to deal in one way or another, because that's just the way that's just the way it's going to be moving forward. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta move on, man. You can't be like Sony and trying to stay stuck in the past. I mean, things, things elevate. You gotta move on. You have to go forward. You can't just stay one type of way when you're a company. You have to find other ways to make money. And the other ways to make money is to change. You have to change. You can't stay the old ways of Sony PlayStation or Sony. You have to change with the times, man. And Microsoft is always is the forefront of that when it comes to gaming. They're always ahead of their time. Like, people didn't understand when the first Xbox One came out. Oh, you can't do this with your games, DRM and all this stuff. But look where we're at now. I mean, they was just the first to do it. You know what I mean? They were first to do it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people really, they took that wrong. They took all that stuff wrong. Now you're always online. Even with Play, you got to be online. It's the way it is, man.
Well, we talked about it earlier, right? With PlayStation bringing their games to PC now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a matter of time. We knew this, right?
Yeah.
Because number one, we all know Sony copies, right? But also it's an indicator of who the true industry leader is, which it is Microsoft.
Yeah. You can't stay like people, oh yeah, we like our our one and done games. I mean, but it doesn't validate the purchase of the game. If you're paying $70 to $80 for a game where it just has a story mode and that's it, you're not really getting your money's worth, man. You want to do something, you want to be able to be online with it, like maybe, play online afterwards, have like an online function to the game, make it be your money's worth, of you paying $70 for that game, not just playing the game like The Last of Us or whatever, and it ends. You know what I mean? To me, I would be like, man, I kind of waste my money now. I beat the game already, man. I don't want to go back and beat it again. I want to like go online, maybe play versus or or co-op, or something like that. Like Gears, and like Halo. It's worth your money because you can keep playing the game after you finish the campaign. It's not over.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that because I actually started back and playing Warhammer.
Yeah.
Dark Tide. I kind of stepped away from it, not because I didn't like it, but there's other games, I want to play. We have, and that, again, guys, don't be discouraged about all the stuff that's going on. And especially, look, we did a podcast last week. I know some people didn't agree that, with some of the stuff that was said. But again, on this podcast, we're just going to be 100. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think honesty is the best policy, man, especially on this channel. I just feel like it's important that we do that, right? But don't get it twisted. Yeah. That's why I kept on trying to say, if you're a gamer and you don't have an Xbox, what are you doing? If you consider yourself a gamer, you need to get an Xbox. And you need to subscribe to Game Pass, right? Because if you're a gamer, you love to play games. And me and Sega Man was talking about this earlier before we started the podcast. Microsoft just dropped the Star Wars, the latest Star Wars game, the Kyle Kestis, the second one, the sequel, and just kind of out of the blue, just dropped it into Game Pass. And then the Crab game came out that everybody was looking forward to.
Yeah, I downloaded that. Hope it's good.
Yeah, it looks like something that I would enjoy, right?
Yeah.
And even before that, if you have the PC, Game Pass PC, which I have Ultimate, so I have it all. Also got the notification for Manor Lords.
Yeah.
Drop. Dude, there's just so much stuff that Microsoft is doing right now that far eclipses anything that's negative, that feelings that you might have. Again, I agree with a lot of people about the 4 games. I'm not saying I don't, but what I am saying is just like, look, put it to you this way. Think of Xbox like your favorite football team, right? Look, if you're a hardcore football fan, like I'm a hardcore Steelers fan, guys. Always have been, always will be. Now, there's things that the Steelers have done throughout the years I might not have agreed with. There's contract negotiations they did I thought were stupid. There's this time where they were just trying to pass the ball. It used to piss me off because I wanted them to run it and play defense. That blue collar football that the Steelers are known for. There's all kind of things that I've been through with that team. But at the end of the day, dude, I still have my Steeler hat, which I wear proudly, regardless of what kind of season they have, regardless of how they draft, good or bad, regardless if they win a Super Bowl that year or not, right?
Yeah.
So I would suggest to a lot of you guys, man, and this is if you like baseball, basketball, whatever team you support, but if you're a hardcore fan, dude, you're gonna take the good with the bad, and then you're gonna find something about your team that you love. And it's always been that way, dude. And gaming is no different, dude. Gaming is no different. Me and Sega Man was just kind of going down memory lane about the Saturn and the 32X, right? Maybe and then, Sega didn't have some, not everything they did was gold, right?
Right.
But still, you're a fan of something because of something that they do or the kind of culture that they have, the way that they're built, their foundational stuff. And Xbox is no different for me. And I hope you guys realize that. In fact, as we kick off this podcast, I'm definitely going to give Microsoft and Xbox its props. And again, I'm including Microsoft just because, dude, money, as you guys know, in these tough economic times, right, money matters. Right? A lot of you guys are going to the store like me, and you'd be like, dang, I want hamburger tonight, but the pork is cheaper. That's just the that's just the reality. I mean, when
Yeah.
it's like a $10
Yeah.
difference, you got to go where the money is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why I include Microsoft in that, because I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of companies in the tech industry are hurting right now. And I mean some of the big boys. And Microsoft is one of those few companies that keep on chugging along.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's amazing to me that they're able to maintain. I mean, it's not all good news for them, but I mean, sorry, I'm not gonna cry for you guys. You guys have $3 trillion, right? So I don't, I'm sorry. I look at it realistically, try and use a little bit of common sense. But right, they're just. It's amazing to me some of the stuff that they're able to do. Sega Man, I don't know. We talked about that earlier, right? With the profits that they.
No other company right now, Nintendo or PlayStation, could do what Microsoft's doing right now with gaming. They can't do it.
Yeah.
They don't have the money.
You were just saying, aren't we getting an ID, like some kind of ID at Xbox show? You said.
Yeah, I think said it was today. It was later. It was earlier today. They had a little indie show. I believe that was today. I could be wrong, but I thought said that was today.
That was today. Then we're getting what? June? Is it in June? We're getting another one.
No, that's the big one. The June is the Xbox one. Yeah, that I think we'll see Gear 6 there.
Yeah. So this is the stuff that industry leaders do. Yeah, I don't see anything else coming from the other two. Now, granted, in all fairness, I don't really follow them closely, right? But you get what I'm saying, guys. Like every time I open up gaming news, it's always Xbox.
Yep.
A lot of it is hate, but it's still Xbox nonetheless, right?
Yeah, if you go on YouTube right now and if I go to YouTube right now and go to gaming, it's always hate on always something about Xbox, always nitpicking stuff and everything all the time. You might see a little bit of other stuff in there, but most of the time it's always about Xbox all the time.
And even when it is good, that's usually through the effort of Microsoft, right? They did something that you couldn't even when you buy like an Activision King Blizzard, there's no way you can hide that. That's just there's no way you can spin that bad. And they try. Don't get me wrong. We know they try, right? Like we were talking about that earlier when the quarterlies came out, and Microsoft is like 50% up. Profits are up or more than 50%. It's high. I know it's over 50%, so we'll just go with that number. But then these guys would be like, well, it's only because of AKB. They tried to put a negative spin on it, right? It's because of Activision, Blizzard, and Call of Duty. The stuff the cope that I've seen with guys trying to deal with this news, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, dude. They still have the profit margin, right? That's the thing. And even bigger, dude, is that all you're doing when you do that, you just confirm how big they are, that they can do that they can buy that companies. Right, because a lot of people could not do that. In fact, nobody else could. It was just them. Right. So by reporting that, you just show how you like again. Me and Sega, I was talking about this. You actually vindicate us by telling us who the actual industry leader is when it comes to video games. So just putting it out. I mean, you knew, and that's the sad thing about it. Most of us on the Xbox side, it's not something that we're cheering, right? Because we knew this. This is why you go out and get these guys, right? And that's why I find it ironic, right? Because the people that shouldn't be shocked by this, which is the gaming media, I know I dump on them all the time. I'll continue to do so because they're absolute trash, right? And then you got guys like us that are sitting here that have been gaming our entire lives, looking at them and like, what did you guys expect?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is the big surprise here? Why is this even news? The news is just sharing the figures and the stuff, and then we sit there and we can talk about it like on a podcast. But to make a story about it and then try and slant it in a way that's negative for Xbox,
of course, yeah.
Mighty IGN. I used to call them IGN 4. When PlayStation 4 was, I used to call them IGN 4. Right?
Yeah, and what's it called? All out of the clear blue sky. What's it called? Is real huge now. Because of the show Fallout, everybody's buying Fallout games like crazy.
Yeah, and that's I actually wanted to talk about that tonight. Thank you. We can segue to that now because that's something that I think is important. That I hope Microsoft that they pick up on extremely quickly.
Yeah,
because
I already had them. I already owned them. The 360 ones. Fallout 4. I've owned those for years, and now all of a sudden this show comes out and it's selling like hotcakes, man. And then they're gonna make I think they're gonna make Fallout 4 enhanced. That's
Yeah,
gonna be happening.
I downloaded it already because I'm gonna play it again this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look what's going on with that, brother. Sega Forever. I mean, they're buying all these Fallout games, and that's bringing more money to us. People are buying into Fallout, and that's good. Hope they keep doing it. That's good. That's awesome.
And this is why I feel Microsoft. The title. Let me just cover this real quick. The title of this podcast is "Does Xbox Care Anymore?" I know it has a negative connotation. It's not done for clickbait, guys. This is an honest question that I'm putting out there. My perspective on it, we'll get into after that. But the whole thing about does Xbox care anymore? At some point in time, at least for me, Xbox has just got to go and forge their own path, and I think that's what they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing that firsthand with Fallout, the Fallout television series. Okay. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of fans of Bethesda, and they're across the gamut, right? The one thing that I see consistently with them is that they love Bethesda games. Okay. Now I've seen them complain. I see it in my daughter, right? And one of the reasons we watched the show because my daughter was so excited to watch it, and she absolutely loved the show so much so that she's gonna go back and play when she comes back. When I get her back.
Nice.
Yeah, in fact, I'll probably download the enhancement for it, so when she comes, she can just start playing. But we're gonna both get back into the game, and if Fallout 76 is blown up, so what that tells me is that Microsoft should just stop listening to people when it comes to this kind of stuff, which I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And even us, Sega Man, we lost 4 games, so even us, they're probably looking at us like we understand how you guys feel, but we gotta carve our own path. I can't be hypocritical. I've talked about that ad nauseum on my channel multiple times because I think that's something they need to do. Because if you're too busy listening to everybody, you're not going to make your own way.
Yeah.
And the Fallout TV show just proves to me that a lot of people are just full of crap, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of you guys, again, it just certifies to me that most of you guys are not gamers, right? And it also certifies that the quality of Xbox games are there, right?
Yes, they are.
When you can have a game as old as Fallout 4 and 76 not as old, but it's been out there for a little while, right? And then you have a show that is so successful that shows why people love this game so much, their fans love it so much, and then you draw in a whole new group of people off of that show, like advertising that everybody on the Xbox side complains about with Microsoft, right? And drawing people back in. It just shows, man, that there's still some work that Microsoft needs to do, specifically with Xbox and the Xbox team, to push past all this hate and lies and vitriol, right? And get the game in these people's hands, because we're gonna tell you right now, me and Sega Man know for a fact, because we're in the ecosystem, we play the games, we have the system, that if you like Fallout, there is a plethora of games on Xbox that you guys would absolutely love as well.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that, Sega Man, because that's the thing that stuck out to me the most. That it took a show, and it's a great show. Right? I have 2 more episodes to finish up, but I was amazed by how great that show was done, produced, written, everything. But the way that they show the world, that drew everybody in, and then when people go to play the game and they connect with it, it cuts through all the BS, man. It cuts through ray tracing, no ray tracing, 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
More powerful console, $70 games, all of that stuff gets thrown away, right? Because at the end of the day, if you like games, you play games. That's what it boils down to.
Right.
And it was that, and it's this one thing that Microsoft has done, working with Bethesda and everybody involved, right? This was a production, right? I'm not saying it's a Herculean task, but they had to put some work in, right? And they did that, and they circumvented all of this stuff, and now you got people playing a great game, playing a great series. I'm hoping Sega Man. Sorry to dominate this, but
no, go ahead.
I'm hoping Sega Man that this will also shine a light on Starfield, because that's another game.
Yeah.
If you just give it a chance, if you just guys give it a chance, it might not be a cup of tea, but at least give it a chance. I think a lot more people will connect with that game, because it has some of the same tropes, because it is a big Bethesda game built a little bit differently. But just give it a chance, guys, and that might be something you like, because you never want to miss out on an experience that you might love. So
it is a good game. When it first came out, I was hooked for weeks.
Yeah. Still is.
weeks.
Still is.
Yeah, still is. I'll probably, if I go back to it, I'll be super rusty, because other things have taken me away from it. When other games have come out, I got interested, and I went a little bit away from Starfield. But yeah, when it first came out, dude, on Game Pass, bro, I was in there for weeks,
Me too.
every day playing that.
And some of the
Trying to go.
problems that people have with Starfield or didn't
Yeah.
like about Starfield is the thing that I absolutely love about the game.
Yeah. It's a fantastic game, and the salt was heavy when that first came out.
And
They
that's
try to critique that all day long because we had a game that we were really looking forward to. They had to critique it every day.
Yeah, it's sold consoles. Like there's people that I watch outside of the genre of video games. They just happen to play games that jumped on board. They went and bought systems. They talked about the game. One of these guys was totally blown away by it because he's kind of like in the same vein as I am, as the way I like to appreciate Star Trek and science fiction.
Yeah.
More from a analog perspective, more from a real world perspective. That's one thing I love about Starfield because it's not too science fiction, right?
Yeah.
It has those elements in there, but I want to live out my journey, and I get that with Starfield 100%. So again, not everybody's cup of tea, and I will look at it the same way some people play Fallout, the series, and play Fallout 76, right? Two kind of the same thing, but not really, right? Because one's like a live game, the other one is more of a single player, story driven. So a lot of narrative as well. I think that's what the people loved about they want to get immersed in the world. That's what that show did, Sigma. They got people immersed in the world and got them interested, like any other thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you were younger, man, you remember the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a Dungeons and Dragons guy, but I watched that cartoon and I was like, dude, I'd love to be a ranger. It's like kind of what
I have friends that were really into that, man.
Yeah. And so that's what it takes. And this is what I mean by this title, does Xbox care anymore? And my answer is yes, but definitely no. This is when I thought about after I posted the title, I thought about what I put up there, Sigma, and I thought, people, I can have a negative connotation. And Sigma, if you don't agree with me, definitely speak your
No, I'm listening.
But I think right now they're gonna forge ahead, as you can tell. We talked about Satya Nadella. Love the dude. I love anybody that's a forward thinker, a futurist. I think he's definitely a CEO of the company. He's demonstrated that by a lot of the stuff he's done with Microsoft, and that the influence that they're having on Xbox. Now, again, guys, you guys know I don't agree with some of the things that they're doing. That hasn't changed, but I'm going to give the man his props, right? And which is shown, man, because the quarterly numbers was exactly, I think exceeded their expectations, but they're being successful with their game plan. Okay, if I can put it any other way. Hey, what's up, 100? What's up, brother? Yeah, just me and Segaman right now. We sent the stuff out, but we'll see if Hebot can come in. Hopefully he will, but I know he's busy. But welcome to the show, bro.
I think people, Sega Forever, think that because we're Xbox dudes that we think everything that Xbox does is great, and that's not true. We don't think that way.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. We find ourselves a lot of times not talking about certain things because we're constantly dealing with the console war stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some issues with some of the stuff that Microsoft does, and it's not like I hate Microsoft kind of thing. It's just as a consumer, dude, there's like 5 things off the top of my head I could just throw out right now, thinking that Microsoft should work on from a consumer perspective, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Easily, right? But when you're in the console war, like Sega Man, we've been doing this since 2013, and even before that, dude, with Sega, right? Technically.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when you got to deal with people like this, dude, it's a constant war. You're in the trenches, dude. You don't get time to breathe. You just keep on going. And for me, it's all about, like I said in the last podcast, all of this stuff is principle for me, right? So that's how I approach everything. So even the stuff with Satya, because I read this article where he was talking about, he's happy that other gamers are able to play the games that they're creating, and it doesn't surprise me because he comes from the software side of Microsoft, and that's what that's how he's able to turn Microsoft, make it to the company it is today. It's amazing to watch. Now, as an Xbox guy, I don't like that. I'm not gonna lie. I think exclusive do matter, right? If I want to play a Sony game, I'll go buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
So in the same vein, is like if you want to play an Xbox game, you should buy an Xbox. So,
If you want to play Halo or Gears or Forza, you gotta buy an Xbox.
you know, some of you guys might think I'm backward thinking, but I'm just being honest because I'm a console gamer first and foremost, dude. I don't play on PC. I can't do handhelds anymore, because of my neck and stuff. This is this is it. Dude. This is my last rodeo. So I want to go out with a bang, dude, and I'll fight tooth and nail. Just like my brother Sega Man here, dude. He bought hardcore, physical copy guys, right?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%, brother. Yep.
So in a
I
sense,
do.
oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Sorry.
I do buy digital, brother. I do have a lot of digital games, but I'm more of a physical person. I like to buy them. I like to collect. I've always been that way. But I do buy digital, but I prefer hard copies of games, man. I really do.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm the same way. Like I do both, but I'm mostly like I'm like E-Rock a little bit more, man. I'm like on the digital end. But what I will say though is that I will go out there and buy that physical copy, because I'm a collector at heart. I still do. I still collect. I like physical. I like the look of the art on the box, dude. I miss the days of having the instructions and the little inserts. All my games, I kept all of that stuff. I kept my stuff pristine. It was
Yeah.
just the way I am, dude. It's just like if I had a collection of 45s, had a collection of CDs, had a collection of 8 tracks, right? And I understand that time moves on, but still, we still appreciate it for what it is, and that it's a collector's art at the end of the day. That weighs into this as well. Like I'm pretty sure Sega Man, you got stuff outside of games that you collect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, brother. Brother Sega Forever, I did want to ask you this, man. You know how people argue about physical and digital? Now, my opinion on that is, yes, it is the way of the future of gaming. It is digital. It is digital. Because cost, different things like that. But when you buy digital, you honestly, 100%, you don't own that. You don't own that. If something happens, like a server go down or something like that, you don't have that game anymore. You can't play it. You can't anything. You're actually renting the game. You don't actually own the game. You don't own it.
Right.
You don't. If you buy something digital, right?
Right.
Let's say the servers went down or went away, that game goes away. You don't have it anymore. If you put in a game in your Sega Saturn or your Dreamcast, you own that game.
You know what I was hoping, Sega Man, is I was hoping Microsoft, especially being as big as they are, with the type of money that they have and the stuff that they do, I was really hoping they would get a little bit more creative with this.
Yeah.
With this, I really was hoping that we'd see, like, I don't know if you knew this. I'll use this as an example. On Twitter, Microsoft or Xbox released this picture of a special edition Xbox Series X with the X-Men, with X-Men 97.
I think I've seen that. I did see that.
So now it's a limited edition, right? I believe they're only going to give one away or some crap like that, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. And then they have the controllers available, I guess, on the controller store, which look pretty cool. Okay. I think that's cool, but what I expected from Microsoft was for us to get that like all the time.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah. Like in the store so we can purchase it, or even on their online store for us to purchase it. That's the kind of creativity I was hoping to get from Xbox that I have not seen. Also, like, and we talk about like when they bought AKB, Activision King Blizzard, like I was opining about them actually doing peripherals and releasing some of their games. Like Guitar Hero is the easiest one I can give you right there, right?
Yeah.
But also, they work so much with Sega. Why don't I have Sega Bass Fishing? So my point is that there's a level at which I thought Microsoft would get involved a little bit more on the hardware side, definitely more on the physical side, because I feel that they can. Right? I feel that they have a company that can do that, and then when you see something like the X-Men 97 Special Edition hardware, it kind of rubs me the wrong way because I think they can do it, but they're not for whatever reason. You feel me, dude? You know what I'm saying?
Well, Sega Forever, they definitely can do it.
Yeah.
They can. They can do it, man. They can. It'd be better if they were to do it that way.
I think so, man. Because I think you've seen some of the stuff they've been able to do with the hardware. You know, like, and I know the Surface team is involved, but why aren't we getting that across the board? You know, and I think they can do it, man. And I think it would benefit them a lot if they did, right? At least on the, you know, maybe not on the front end, but definitely on the back end, dude. And I understand that they're more on the corporate side and stuff like that, but dude, they have to plug into the culture of gaming, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it just kind of saddens me, man, because you know some of the stuff because you see that sometimes when there's a limited, like what they did with Redfall. When they did that, dude, I was like, this is a step in the right direction. You know, this is where we're
Oh
going.
yeah.
You know, this
Yeah.
is the kickoff. You know, this is how it's going to be. Doing 5 controllers for each character, all of them look awesome. Again, shout out to Unlimited, Mister Moneybags. He bought all of them.
He gets all that stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and I thought that was worth it. I thought it was worthy, and to me, Sega Man, I mean, you can share your thoughts, but that's to me was the I thought that was a milestone moment. But
That's like Tuck.
You know,
That's like Tuck, man. He buys a lot of special made elite controllers, man. He's into buying those elites.
oh yeah.
You know?
You know, it's interesting to me because Microsoft, and I think this is something they need to work on, because they talk about meeting everybody, every place, wherever you want to be. You know, I said, well, you have fans that want this from you guys. They want the hardware, they want the peripherals, right? They want the limited edition stuff, they want the collector's edition, they want the physical copies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so hard to do this? You know, if you guys are looking at money and where you can put your money in, you know, I think this would definitely be something worth doing. And you know, this is the kind of stuff that all the advertising in the world will not get you, right? Because as in these economic times, as you can see now, it's your fans that you need to fall back on right now. It's the fans like us that's going to keep you going until everybody else comes over. Whenever COD drops into Game Pass, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I got to be honest with you, brother Sega Forever. I honestly don't like. Be honest with you, I don't like Microsoft helping Sony. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't. The only
I don't think they.
Oh, go ahead.
Huh? I don't think they should, brother Sega Forever. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean to people that like PlayStation. That's fine, but I honestly don't think they should help them. What did Sony help with? What did Sony help with that Xbox? Nothing. They never help Xbox with anything. I'm not saying that they have to because they don't really need them to help, but they never offered anything like games. Like when we want games over here, they never offered that. Nothing. I don't think we should help them. I really don't. I really don't think we should have to help a company. A company should be able to help themselves. They should be able to be innovative. They should be able to think of things and not copy off of Microsoft. I just don't think they should be helped. They're a company. They should come up with their own ideas, figure out how to have good online. It would us happen to help with Azure servers, different things like that, man. They need to do that themselves. They were really big in the 80s. They did great with electronics, and they were really huge and big in that time era. Now look at them now. They're like a shell of themselves. You need Microsoft to help you. I think that's ridiculous, man. You shouldn't have Microsoft helping you. They should be helping themselves. Microsoft shouldn't have to help Sony, man.
Well, I'll say this: given the Helldivers 2 news that came out, I don't know if it's true or not. That's what I was kind of looking at to happen, which I could deal with better from Microsoft if we were getting something in return from them. So if they give like a Helldivers 2, then I'd be like, okay, this makes more sense. Like I could deal with that. That's what I was talking about in my one video. When the first came over, I was expecting them to reciprocate and actually reciprocate within that month, and we did not see that at all. Wouldn't surprise me if it still does happen and Microsoft just took the brunt of it like they always do, right? This is what I mean by this title, guys. Does Xbox care anymore? Obviously, they don't in that sense. Like they'll do the things they'll need to do, even though they know that some of us would not agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I would like to see consistency. That's all I'm asking from them. And aside from the games again and helping out Sony, they have been consistent. Don't get me wrong. But if Helldivers 2 comes over, Sega Man, then my gears are gonna start turning again, and I'll be like, okay, so we'll get other games. It's just that's Sony's gonna kind of drag their feet. Then I would understand that even dragging their feet a little bit more because of the situation they're in. And then hopefully like Nintendo will come over. And it's not that I look, guys, like I tell you guys all the time, right? I'm not gonna be hypocritical. If I want a Sony game, I'll just go buy the PlayStation. If I want a Nintendo game, I'll go buy the Switch. I used to have a Switch. Right? I lost interest in both of them. Right? And all my focus is on Xbox. So I don't need your games to come here. I could care less if they come here. But right, if we're gonna do this, right, I think it would behoove Microsoft to get something in return. That's my only thing. Because obviously they're gonna do. If you haven't, that's why again, guys. That's why I said, does Xbox care anymore? Not that they're throwing in the towel. Not that they hate us as fans and all this kind of stuff. They probably don't like some of the stuff we do. That's a given. But what I'm saying is, they're just gonna continue to go ahead and forge their own path. I do agree with Unlimited in some sense. It is coming out from corporate. But at some point you gotta put your foot in the ground, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can really, if it's coming upstairs, the big boys up there, there is nothing we can do about it.
And I do believe it's coming from in the gaming side as well. I think people, when you take on so many people, look, dude, I believe assimilation is needed in this world. Like say if I move from here to Japan, wouldn't be such a culture shock because Japan, Hawaii is like little Tokyo sometimes, But what I will say is that if I moved there, I would learn the customs. I would try and learn the language. Like if I couldn't speak the language in Japan, I wouldn't live there. I'll put it to you like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through the problem of not being able to communicate with people, right? Especially when the majority of them, that's the first and official language. I'm not official, but that's their first language is Japanese. So I would take it upon myself to learn. And that's kind of the thing what's going on with gaming. We're getting a lot of normies coming into gaming, and they wield a certain power. And I'll just be honest, some of these companies got to respect that power, right? Because that power is the power of the purse, right?
Yeah.
There's a money component to it. But still, right? Again, it's maybe because I'm principled about it or whatever. But still, you have to have people that are coming to your system that want to be on your system. And so, again, using Fallout as an example, I'm glad you brought that up, brother. Because in fact, we can talk. Did you watch it?
I did not get. What I'm going to do, Sega Forever, I'm going to binge watch Fallout.
Oh, that's to me, that's the best way. I'm totally a binge type of guy. I think you'll love it, dude. And even if you haven't played Fallout, if you know anything about Fallout, there's a well-written show.
I played Fallout 3. I played Fallout Vegas. I didn't beat these, but I did play them. Play Fallout 3, Vegas, and I played Fallout 4. I do have Fallout 76, but I haven't played it yet.
You know the great thing about all this, dude, is one thing that came out of it, and I was talking to my daughter about it. Somebody made a meme on my Twitter page, and I loved it because it talks about there's a movie called Civil War that's out, and there's a clip from the movie where these guys are stopped at a checkpoint, and this dude has a rifle pointed on him, and this is in America. So the thing is, like, America's supposed to be a civil war. All the states are fighting with each other. So then the guy has the gun pointed at him. He goes, "Wait, this is a misunderstanding. We're Americans, right?" And then the guy looks at him and goes, "Well, okay. Well, what kind of American are you?" To me, that was the best line. It was in the trailer. It was like one of the best lines I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So what would happen with Fallout? Because there's a thing between Fallout and the Fallout, Fallout fans, between New Vegas and like the regular timeline of Fallout. I mean, it's still the same, but you know what I mean. There's a little bit of thing about it.
Yeah.
And somebody took that and made a meme out of it. It's just like, wait a minute, we're all Fallout fans here, and then the dude with the rifle is the guy saying, well, what kind of Fallout fan are you? And it says Fallout New Vegas because they kind of like in their own little group. You know what I'm saying? So my point of that is, this is what you want to see on social media. You want to see something like this, where a game like Fallout from Bethesda, which is very popular, but the brand is now owned by Microsoft, right? It's still at this point in time underneath Microsoft's ownership, is able to cross the streams culturally, right? Because when you're able to do that, they give you relevance, at least on social media, and then you can build off of that, right? Like Halo did that. The show. I have my things with Halo, the show. Some things I wish they would have done differently, but overall, I thought that the show was awesome. But there's a lot of people that felt the same way about Halo, and so that garners interest and that puts Halo in a spotlight where somebody could try it. So you start off with Halo, then you do Fallout, right? Next, hopefully, brother, they do Gears. I know you're a big Gears fan, because then you can extend your audience because of people. It'll revive all of this stuff, and I think that's what Microsoft's going to do. Because as you know, Sega man, Sarah Bond put on blast that they're going to put a team together dedicated to backwards compatibility, right? And which I think is very very needed because as you also know, we talked about this earlier, the update for Fallout released, and I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet, but everybody's kind of losing their minds about it, right? And that's the power that Xbox needs to wield, right? This is the direction if they go in. I'm 100% behind. You know, this again it goes with what I'm saying. Does Xbox care anymore? Well, it looks like they're going to forge their own path, and I'm all for that, especially when it's doing stuff like this. Did you watch the Halo show, Sega Man? At all? Oh, Sega Man, are you there? Did I lose you? No, my brother. I think we might have lost my brother. Hey, Sega Man. I can hear you, but I can hear you in the background. Are you there? Sega Man? Oh, we might have lost him. Again, guys, he's on the East Coast. I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so sometimes we get drops. Sega Man, if you can hear me, I don't know if you're speaking. I can hear a noise, but it's not coming through. If you want to drop out and drop back in, I'll add you. But yeah, so I just wanted to clear the air on that. This is not we're gonna hate on Xbox podcast. I know we went hard on Xbox the last time. Just to be fair, guys, we had to speak honestly about the stuff they were doing, and it's happening in real time, dude. Whether you want to believe it or not, it just is. Now, how you deal with that is up to you. I gave you guys a glimpse into what I tend to do when things that I love tend to go off in a different direction than I want them to. In the case of Xbox, though, it's not as bad. Worst case scenario, I talk about it all the time on this channel, is with Disney. Disney is probably the company that pretty much they've lost me. And I know they came out with X-Men 97 that we were talking about earlier, the actual animated show. A lot of people saying it's great, but on the flip side of what Microsoft is doing, they might do a couple things I might not like, but overall, like 95% is solid. So I'll stick with them. Disney's the opposite. There might be one or two things they like, but the rest is all trash. So I've kind of stepped away from Disney. And that's something, again, we'll bring up, guys, because this is the waters that Xbox needs to navigate moving forward, to kind of read the tea leaves, to understand the direction that things are going. This is why I think culture is important when it comes to gaming. I think Microsoft really needs to work on that. And again, I'm using Microsoft intentionally on this because if they're going to get their hands involved, hold on, guys. There's damn, got all kind of drama going on over here, guys. If you're going to put your hand in the cookie jar, you should get a little bit more well-rounded idea of what's really going on. You know, you guys come from a particular bent, another side of the corporation, and you guys are delving into this. Some of the stuff that you guys are talking about, I agree with. But some of the stuff that you guys want to do with Xbox, it's not Surface Team, it's not a Surface, it's not Windows, it's none of that stuff, right? It's its own entity, and I think that they hopefully fill them, and they'll be able to put that out there as well. But again, as you guys can see, man, when it comes to the end of the day, especially now currently. A lot of people are waking up to this too. After the end of the day, it's money. It really is, man. Money does make the world go round. I'm not saying you have to agree with it. I I'm not saying that you can't rant on that. I have my own personal opinions about that as well. I don't think 100%. Um, there's little areas and stuff where that you have to pay attention to when it comes to this kind of stuff. But overall, man, I mean, everybody's getting a wake up call, right? And understanding that money makes the world go round. In the case of Microsoft, I understand they're looking at that as well. We've talked about it on this show, on other Unlimited show. He was comment on it. A lot of us talked about this. Um, you know, it's you got to look at the numbers. Granted, I'm a numbers guy. You got to look at all that kind of stuff. But if you lose the culture or the core of what you are, you lose that, you won't be able to bring it back. And right now, Microsoft can't afford. If that's the one thing that's their Achilles heel, they can't afford to lose that. Right? It's kind of like how everybody says how the U.S. is such a powerful country, But one of the problems we're having right now is like we're rotting from within. Just because you're powerful, you're the biggest, you have the biggest, you're the big man, you're the boss. BMOC, big man on campus, man, doesn't mean that you can't fall. So, and I'm not saying Microsoft will, because they have a lot of checks and balances. Again, going back to the 90% of stuff that they do that I like. Okay, so I'm not that concerned about it. Right, a lot of this stuff, again, as you guys hear me on this podcast, it has to do more with personal issues when it comes to Microsoft and the stuff that they're doing. But again, going back to this right here, guys, does Xbox care anymore? Yeah, they do, right? But they don't, right? And that's okay as well. That's a fine line that they gotta walk. And I don't envy them, right? Especially in the position they're in, right? They don't get the kudos that PlayStation gets thrown up on PlayStation and Sony, even though they're screwing everything up right now. Even though they're copying Microsoft does, nobody points that out except for guys like us. And then when we do that, we're called haters and we hate Sony and all that stuff. Which I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Sony, right? That's beside the point. But they get a pass, is what I'm trying to say, and they'll always get a pass. This is why I wanted Microsoft to just take them out. It'd have been easier just to clear everything out and then build from the ground up than it is to do these stuff. What is it? Death by 1,000 cuts. Hey, Dia.
Hello, Sega Forever. Hello,
Welcome
Sega Man.
I think we lost Sega Man.
Oh, we did? Oh,
Yeah.
No,
you're here?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if we, because I was.
Hey, Dan.
how you doing?
How are you?
I'm so my allergies kicking in, so I'm feeling.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've been sneezing all over the place. It's terrible.
So type of it's ready around that season,
Yeah, it is. It's terrible, man. If you feel terrible, it feels like a cold, like.
I heard that's
can't
gonna be
escape.
strong this year, boy. It's
It
gonna be strong.
is.
All that pollen.
It is. It's so bad right now.
Yeah.
The pollen was saving itself up after all these years. We was all in lockdown. They was just waiting for us to pop out.
Yeah,
Damn, they can give it to us. I have allergies too. That's why. So
you do. Yeah, then man. Every year, I like spring, but this is I just on the same coin. I hate it too. So
Yeah.
get that Claritin. Get that Claritin D.
yeah, I got plenty of that. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh man.
So,
So
Dale, welcome to the podcast.
thank you.
We're just talking the Wrecking Crew style.
What's the subject?
So I know this might be a confusing title. I stuck it out.
Refresher, yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was I put it out there, and since I was rushing, it didn't dawn on me that this could be considered negative.
Okay.
Right. For me personally, I mean, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. For me personally, does Xbox care anymore? And for me personally, I think the answer is yes and no. That's what I was saying a couple minutes ago. I think it's yes and no,
Yep.
and I don't necessarily think it's bad
I don't either. Yeah.
because at some point in time, we've been with these guys for years and we've seen them. And you come from the PC side, yeah, so you know
Mhm.
better than anybody else.
Yep.
From the outside, yeah.
I've been with Microsoft like in gaming for actually long before, like for a long time.
Xbox.
It wasn't Xbox. It was Microsoft
Yeah.
that
Right.
was in gaming first. People don't know that. They think Microsoft only entered gaming with the Xbox, but they was there before that. They were
Yo,
present on
long
the
before that.
PC. Yeah, they were present on the PC. So I've been to me I've never thought of Microsoft as I'm sorry, yeah, Microsoft as a separate from the PC when it comes to
Yeah,
gaming. I never thought
yep,
of it that way.
that's right. That's right. They like with the remember Sims, the game Sims.
Yep, yep,
You
yeah.
know,
Man, some of my early games I played, I think it was a Microsoft Live or something. It was something. I know you had to have an account to access some of those games, even back then. Um,
yeah, yeah.
it was like yeah. So they've been involved with gaming for a long time. People just don't know that. And then like if you look at Microsoft Flight Sim, that game is very old.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's remember they said remember back in the day they remember they said they didn't want it to be used for I thought it was going to be used for the remember when they hit the twin towers.
Oh
They
yeah,
tried
yeah, yeah,
they tried
yeah,
to blame that game on. They tried to blame that on that
yeah,
at one
yeah.
time. Yep.
Well,
That's been
that
out.
speaks to the to the realism of that game of its time.
Yeah, yeah. It always was a good game, so that's why it's still around. But yeah, that's an old game though. That's a very old game.
Very old and it's came a long way.
A long way. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it was Age of Empires.
Asian Empires too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's the only thing because like I'm looking at them, I'm like, yeah. So I'm putting myself on blast, right? Because I've been saying that for a long time. Because you can't listen because I know you've talked about this too, Dia, where no matter what people would tell Microsoft a lot of things, and no matter what Microsoft did, it just didn't matter, right? And I believe
Right.
at some point in time that they realized that it's not about what the fans are saying they want, right?
Right.
It's just you know they have to picked up that there's a lot of false sentiment in
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
so for me, I would say, at this point, just move forward. Now, again, double-edged sword, right? And I'm paying for it right now because for me, moving forward wasn't putting four of our games on other consoles.
I
So
agree.
other
I
consoles company.
agree.
But
I
I
Yeah.
can't
mean,
be a hypocrite about it. I can't be a hypocrite about it because I'm the one that's been saying for years that they should just move ahead and do what they need to do.
what they need to do, and it may not all be what we like. I would
Yeah.
say this. I agree. I don't like that. I do still want Xbox to have an identity, but if look, I think in every way, mentally and in every other way, I think they are a third party publisher. That's what they are. They want to have their games everywhere, and I think they were telling people that from the beginning. It doesn't mean they're going to abandon the Xbox like the way the ponies are running around. That's crazy. They're not going to abandon their own brand.
Right.
But what they're going to do is transform that brand so that it can reach all people. And no enclosed box is going to allow them to reach all people. It just won't because the newer generations simply aren't buying consoles. That's just the fact. And is no matter how much I might feel about those games going over there to PlayStation, it the truth is if they can rake money from the PlayStation player because they're paying for that stuff, whereas we just have access to it.
Right.
They're still making it to where we have a better benefit because I wouldn't
Mhm.
be here if they weren't, right? If I
Yeah.
thought I was getting the short end of the stick, I wouldn't be here. But I don't have to pay for that. When Hellblade 2 drop, I don't have to pay for that. When
Nope.
Indiana Jones drop, I don't have to pay for that. Obviously apart from my subscription, it's a small fee to access everything they offer, right? So, and not just that, their ecosystem. So be able to play our games everywhere and do what we want with them. That's all part of Xbox, right? Now,
Mhm.
I think that's what they're banking on, that experience, that um access their games anywhere. The fact that you can come in to, maybe let's say the consoles just aren't working for them because the time of the consoles is fading. And this is something that's hard for people to hear, but there's things that just come and go, and everything has their time. There's going to come a time one day when a PC is not going to matter in gaming, you know. So, but I think console is right at the tip of beginning to fade because the younger generations are simply not adopting it. They're not. They're playing on phones. They many places in the world they'll play on PCs, But a lot of people in other parts of the not necessarily America, but I'm talking about other parts of the world, they simply game the majority on PC or on their phones or something.
Do you
So
think it was a little bit presumptive of them to do the 3 billion gamers?
I think maybe the number is ambitious, but what business doesn't have that, right? I mean, when they're dreaming big, right? But
Mhm.
I think that they do know how many gamers are out there. I think they always knew they were going to go into mobile. I think they always knew they were gonna. They already exist in PC, but they don't. I'm talking about back when they had what 5 or 6 studios. They really didn't because it wasn't enough games to influence the PC gamer to say, "Hey, I gotta play that Xbox game." It wasn't Halo because Halo it did come over, but Halo is not a staple of PC gaming, right? It's a staple of console gaming, which is nothing wrong with that. But that's what it is, right? Gears
Mhm.
2, um, Forza 2. Although Forza, all them games actually do pretty good on PC, but it's not a staple. They knew they needed to grab IP that that really moved the PC to include them in. They Microsoft wants everything. I can just clearly see it. They want it all, and they are not going for some little rinky dink IPs when they go for it. Like how Sony was settling, right? That's not
Yeah.
happening with Microsoft. They're buying big. They want the very best of the best,
Well, they have the money too. That's why.
and they got the money, right? So
Right.
they got, gosh, honestly, looking at this recent financial report from Microsoft, I
Scary.
think it's terrifying, man. They said they up what 62%, 63%
That's
in
just one quarter.
1 quarter.
Yeah.
That's crazy in gaming alone. And then somehow Windows inked up. It ain't like by a mile or nothing, but Windows that like inched up above gaming. Those two are like neck and neck. Don't let anybody tell you anything other than that. They're neck and neck. What 1 quarter it could be, gaming, the other it could be Microsoft. But for some reason, the hardware is not moving as much, and who knows? I mean, it's the consoles. I think the consoles will never do what they used to do. I think this is just where we at, and I think that all the people who would have had a console probably have one right at this point.
Mhm.
Also, you do have a big migration of people going to PC. I wonder how long they gonna last because I don't think everybody's cut out for PC.
I
So
think people. I think it's just a sign of the times in a sense, but I
yeah,
wouldn't. I wouldn't bank on it because I do. I do. I know I keep on saying this, but I think the economy right now is one of the biggest
I
factors.
do. I believe that too. I believe the economy is part of it as well.
Unfortunately,
I
consoles has the at least when you're trying to sell a PC, you can say you can at least say that you can do multiple stuff with a
You
PC.
can justify because of
Yeah,
all the different things. Like if you go to school or you go to work or whatever,
yeah,
you can use a PC for all those things, right?
Yeah.
and a
Yep.
phone and a phone as well. I see my daughter do
And a
it all.
phone. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, you got your laptop, you got your phone, and then
Hmm.
they become better, and and they're more portable, and they have the power to do like the majority of the games that people play.
Heck yeah. I mean, you saw what Apple's phone could do running Resident Evil 4 on it. I was like,
Mhm.
wow. So yeah, yeah, those things can do a lot now. So
So I mean, so that's the only thing. That's kind of the my perspective where I'm coming from,
hmm
right? Because like I said, and again, I can't be a hypocrite, right? It's because when you do that, you're gonna, you want to make an omelet, right? You're gonna break some eggs,
right,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Right. Now again, the egg again. I'm 100% guys, and you guys could tell from the last podcast we did that eggs wasn't a game going over. Now, there I did hear this. I did hear that Helldivers is
hmm
possibly coming to uh,
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah, I put it this way. I put a bet that it's coming to Xbox because you did hear that Helldivers 2 engagement numbers dropped 80%.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's coming to Xbox. If they want that game to live, it is.
I heard
Yeah.
that even the
Yeah.
PlayStation guys were saying, "Oh, they should take it to Xbox."
Yeah, if you want the game to survive, if it was Halo, I'd be like, put that thing on PlayStation if it means the death of Halo.
Okay,
If Halo was done, like done, yeah, put it over there if you had to. I wouldn't like it, and I'm never going to like that. I'm
yeah,
never going to want the core games to ever go on PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But if it meant the death of a game that I like and love, then I have to swallow that terrible pill and just say, go ahead and do what you gotta do to save it, you know.
Well, I don't want to seem hypocritical, but I just got to be honest, right? It's just, um, I gotta give Microsoft their props because this is one of the things that they probably saw, right?
They did, yeah.
Because like when they put their stuff over there, then as we all know, dude, a lot of the people that own PlayStation or also own the PlayStation are not PlayStation, not the people we deal with and loathe, right? The
Mhm.
majority of them are just normies.
It's casual, is no right, normal people. Right.
So when you do something like Microsoft did, which I don't agree with, but you do something like that, it can open the door for them to on that side saying, "Oh, cool. Then maybe we should put Helldivers there, and then they'll play the game over there." So that's what I gathered from that. Like
Mhm.
because you got Porter Rock losing his mind.
I know, man. He thinks it's the death of Xbox and all that. This guy's falling apart.
Oh,
Yeah,
I-
he's a clown.
didn't he say he was gonna go to Nintendo? Somebody said that.
No, he's getting a PC. Him and Doc Dark they already left. You know, that guy took off a while ago. Yeah. So
Yeah. So you got those dudes, right? And which I find funny,
mhm.
right? But it is what it is, right? At least look. I'll give them this much, man. At least they hardcore.
They are hardcore. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I can't hit them on that, dude. They at least they're consistent on that part. But
Yep.
with
Yep.
that being said, again, like me and Sadie Man was talking about earlier, you can kind of tell who the leader in the industry is by something like this. So if Helldivers 2 come over, if some of the games, this is what I was thinking was going to happen from the jump. Data.
Yeah.
Games are going to come over. We send our games over. Okay, you give us
Yeah.
games. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be God of War into that, but I thought
No. In
So if
fact, I
Hellboy-
don't want Sony to do that. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna be consistent, I want Sony to have some IP that identifies their platform the same way with Xbox. You know,
like I was saying earlier, if I wanted to play God of War, I just go buy a PlayStation.
you would. Is that well? At this point, you don't even need to buy anything. If you
Yeah.
got access to a PC or something, all you got at this point, all you got, or if Xbox come out with that handheld that has Steam and Epic on it, you don't need to get anything else. You can just play those games because PlayStation's got everything now. I think Ghost is the last game holdout, and they already moving that thing over to PC. So all their stuff is over there at this point, except like maybe the ones that the part twos to everything, and that's probably going to drop a lot quicker now because niggas
Yeah.
been moving. You know.
Well, that's what I said. Like I thought that they were using Microsoft, like Nintendo and Sony's going to use Microsoft as a shield because
Yes.
Microsoft can take.
Yes, and Microsoft don't care if it means they'll take those hits if it means that the industry shifts in the way they want it to. You know, they don't care. They
Well,
big enough to endure it.
It's going to be their freaking. Like the. I'm just sorry, dude. I'm just not built that way. It's like that utopia they always talk about.
Yeah, me
With
too.
those,
man.
with those
It
goofy
ain't gonna be
stuff.
no utopia. No, it's gonna still be it's gonna be a content battle. That's what
Well,
it
for
is.
me, it's just like I was just like, just
Yeah.
destroy everybody and then take control. What they're gonna do is they're just gonna do it like, oh, we're all living together, and then by the way, you have to pay for this on PlayStation. But you still get our, it's like
Yeah,
it's
and you
gonna
know
be
what?
the same thing.
It's brilliant because look,
It is.
you just had people celebrating, because Satya came out and said how happy they was with the outcome of probably in particular Sea of Thieves. It did very good on PlayStation 4. I did not know that many people wanted Sea of Thieves over there, but they did, and these was the normies. They just wanted it, right? So I don't know why they wouldn't get an Xbox for that, but they didn't. Okay, but they bought those games and the higher tier too. I mean, and I was shocked by that, but he was happy with that. He came out with a statement about that, right? And the ponies was trying to use that as an attack against Xbox, but I'm like, do they understand? They just funded Xbox's future first party, like exclusive games or games that they're going to produce first party games and stuff. They just funded their ecosystem, their platform. They had to pay full price for that, and they had to wait 6 years for that game.
Yep.
At this point, the Xbox and PC gamer have played it and it's done with it, or they just hop into it occasionally. At this point, 6 years. So I'm like, these people are idiots. They don't understand that. Like Microsoft is like a tick now. They're dug in and they sucking that blood out. And the reason why they're not going anywhere because there's no way that Sony is going to get rid of their number one provider. They're not going to do it. They bringing them COD, they bringing them all these other games, and they see Microsoft's future games coming. And you don't think that Sony wants some of them games to land on that platform?
Yep.
They do.
All
And
aboard.
they're never going to say anything to Microsoft to upset them.
Yep.
Microsoft don't have to put those games on. They're not required to. There's only one game they're required to do. That's Kai. They don't have to put anything else on there. The rest is at their discretion. So right now, those games are saving Sony. And it's providing for Microsoft all in one. Microsoft is riding high. Look at those profits, man. Look at the revenue they got coming in. That's crazy. Everybody's been talking about it. And so Microsoft got what they got, but think about it. They don't care if these PlayStation people don't want to buy Xbox anymore. Fine. We'll bring the games to you. You'll pay for it. We'll take good care of our people over here. They don't have to pay for anything, and we'll keep making stuff here. And you can hate us all you want, but we're not going anywhere. We're
Nope. Nope.
So I always said that Microsoft's greatest superpower was that they're rich. So
yeah, I'm telling you, man, that and I've said this many times. There's no way that Sony can get rid of. At this point, it's a symbiotic relationship that Microsoft can walk away from if they want to. They don't have to do that. That's the thing. All the power is with Microsoft, and people don't see it.
They don't want to see it.
Nope.
It was interesting because Satya talked about this at the court trial. How he didn't like exclusives. Yeah, he said it on.
Oh yeah, he did say that. You're right. He did say that.
So I heard him say that, and I understand the type of person he was. I still didn't want to believe that he was going to go forward with it.
Yeah, man, they push. I personally believe they push Phil and them to do that. That's my personal opinion. I don't believe Phil was. I think Phil want the games like to spread out, but I don't think that they wanted to be forced to give up these newer games that they just established. Well, not Sea of Thieves, but I'm talking about like Hi-Fi and all that. I think they had to do a big. I think it is a test too. I think that part is true because of just the certain games. I was like, why did they put that game over there? They with Pentiment and Hi-Fi and Grind. The games are a little bit all over the place, So
I think it's like what they're doing with us, and it works, right? It works, right? Because we understand now what they're doing since we're like 5 years in, because this is what they've been doing this whole time. That's why the one showcase they did last year that all the PlayStation guys hated. It blew my mind. I actually watched that one. And the reason why I watched it, because I just sat there at the end of it, I was like, oh, they just copied us 100%.
Really?
Like they did an actual Xbox. Yeah, because they did the same format we did. That Microsoft,
wow.
I mean, so like, for example, we do the indies, we do that one player. This is coming in the future, right? And and then Microsoft gets hate. They'll get hate no matter what.
No matter what they do.
No matter what they do. But then Sony did the exact same thing. That's why you got Foam Stars and that stupid
Wow, I never thought it. I don't really watch the PlayStation.
Oh, that Baby Steps.
Yeah, Baby Steps. Thank you, Sigmund.
Baby Steps, yeah. I don't really watch. I told people this before. I don't follow other platforms. But maybe I'll start because Sony's putting stuff on PC. So I'll still. If I don't have access to your game, I don't care about your games.
Well, so yeah, I'll say it like this. The only reason why I watched it was just to enjoy the song.
You so bad.
No, that's how
you're so naughty.
Dude, I am petty. I am super. I know it's bad because I'm a Christian because people throw that in my face and I'm like, God help me. I'll pray on Sunday.
That's a weakness, huh?
It's my weakness. That's my cross to bear. But man, I just can't help myself because these guys have been just absolutely horrible.
Right, they have
since
been.
2013. So any opportunity I get to see them eat crow, I'm there. But I didn't expect the showcase to go like that.
I did not know the showcase. I didn't watch it, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I actually talked to Hebot. He goes, "You watched that?" I was like, "Dude, you have to watch. You have to watch it, dude. Just enjoy it because this is the one." And then everybody took the clips, so you don't have to watch it. But everybody's taking the clips and they're showing it how these dudes was losing and crying, and then like, oh boy, jumped up out of his chair and threw everything.
Oh, I saw that. It was like a little meme or a clip or something. Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
It's like reactions to the showcase, and it was focusing on the PlayStation guys. Because all the hate they was giving Microsoft, they just basically Sony turned into a Microsoft showcase.
Yep.
Wow.
That's where you saw Helldivers 2. You saw that other game, Marathon game. Not Marathon. That other game.
I was gonna say I haven't seen Marathon yet.
Yeah, it was loaded with indies In fact, they had like 3 or 4 cat games that pissed them off. But it
Oh,
was
yeah,
Indies and
those cat games. Yeah, me and Zeke
Yeah.
was talking about that. Oh man, I laughed so hard. I was on Unlimited show. I literally couldn't stop laughing. I
Yeah.
was so I felt sorry for Unlimited because me and like Zink lost it. We was laughing so hard.
Yeah, that was the showcase.
That's
It was basically
crazy.
like, and the only reason I say that is because Microsoft and Xbox has conditioned us. And credit to them, dude. A lot of these games are great. Sega Man was just talking about. What were you playing, Sega Man?
I'm playing a game. I'm playing a great game called Halibut. Halibut and the
Oh,
new
cool.
the what's that? What's it? It's called it
Harold.
looks like a what is it?
Harold Halibut. Yeah. thank you.
Harold Halibut. I'm playing that. That's a really interesting game. It's like a kind of like a sci-fi-ish type underwater. They live underwater. They're like clay stop animation characters.
Oh,
It just dropped in Game Pass. It's very, very interesting, and I'm really enjoying that game. It's awesome.
nice.
And then
Well,
you
You'll have
play
to check it out, there.
I've never played a Fallout game before. I've been playing Fallout 76, and oh my gosh, that's an Xbox game now, right? So I got it for free for watching the Fallout show, right? So I said, okay, I think I'll try it. And oh my gosh, the community
never
in
played it?
Fallout. No, I never played a
Oh,
Fallout
okay.
before, right? So my friend, he said, "Oh, you gotta." He said, I said, I watched the show. I really liked the show. And he said, you should play the game. I said, well, I got Fallout 76 for free. He said, oh, I'll help you and everything. I have never seen a community so helpful and so
They
kind.
too helpful.
They are so helpful.
They're irritating me.
It blew my mind. I've never seen a community like that. They're so nice. The people in there are so nice. They're so kind.
You know what
They
helped
don't-
with that? They got so much. I mean, the game was getting hate as well.
Yeah.
And of course, because now and that's the funny thing about it, right? You see these PlayStation guys trying to backtrack. Well, that's a Bethesda game. I said, no. When it came out, you guys made it a point to tell us
That's
there's an
true.
Xbox game and it sucked.
That's
So now
true.
you can't go backwards.
They can't.
Yep,
go
they
back.
did.
Because
They
I
did.
think the people over Fallout 76 was so happy. They said they had got over 1 million players.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like
In one
Yep.
day they had 5
in
million.
one day, like that's crazy. I probably was one of that million because I hopped in there. But man, I'm playing it now, and I have a couple of people who are helping me along. Because I'm like I
Yeah.
just came out the vault. I'm like level 8. So I'm pretty low. But yeah, I just been, I got to set up my base and everything. But yeah, the community in there is fantastic.
Yeah, they're super nice. Yeah.
Very nice. If you ever get into Fallout 76, you would get just total strangers helping you out. It's so kind. That's the spirit of gaming that I used to feel
That's
in
what
the
makes
past,
Bethesda
man.
Bethesda.
It's wonderful. That's a wonderful community.
That's what makes Bethesda Bethesda. I know because my daughter's in that community.
It's okay, yeah. That's a wonder. You don't have anything to worry about with her in there. Those the people. Are
Oh
very
no, yeah, I
kind.
already knew because I play Fallout too. I mean, I
Okay,
play
that's
Fallout
all.
as well.
Yeah.
But she's hardcore into it, and so we watched the show, and the show is awesome. I started
It
to-
is. It's very good. Yeah, it's very good.
But that's what me and Sega Man were talking about earlier, like how that was able. Hey, Unlimited. Hey, bro, I sent you a link if you can jump in. I sent it to you on Twitter. But
Hi,
yeah, so
Unlimited.
What's
So-
up, Unlimited?
at one point across all their games, the Fallout games, they had 5 million people on one day.
Oh
5 million
wow.
people playing in on one day.
Gee, man, and that's an old game. So Xbox is just raking in money from that game. It's all profit at this point.
Didn't we
Well, what
learn-
happened? What happened there is when that started happening, it was a Fallout, like Mass Effect. When that happened, they started buying all the Fallout games. Like
I
Vegas,
ended up doing that
4,
man, I couldn't help it. Steam had
3.
a wonderful sale, and I just said, look, I got Fallout 4 and 3 for $4.
Hey, that's
$4.
what they want. Yeah, that's what they want. So don't feel bad.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I couldn't help. Look, I ain't gonna turn down a good deal for game. Look, a true gamer ain't never gonna do that. I don't care if you like the game or not. You're gonna take the game, right? So I took the game, and man, so many people have told me, "Oh, you got Fallout 4. You're gonna love Fallout 4." Others are saying, "My favorite is Fallout 3." I just been getting people talking to me about Fallout like crazy, and then to discover the Fallout 76 community has just been really special.
Hey, stay away from those. Stay away from those New Vegas guys.
the New Vegas people. Oh
Yeah, have you heard about that already?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh my gosh, that's such a big thing. Oh, it's crazy. So that's what I
Oh,
thought.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, Fallout New Vegas. So or Fallout Vegas, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's New Vegas. Yeah,
New
yeah.
Vegas, right? So you know
Yeah.
that Obsidian did that one, right?
Yeah, Obsidian. I love Obsidian.
Yeah.
I think they're
But
very
it's
good
like
at RPGs.
it's just like just think of a series of movies, and then you have that one movie that just stands apart from everything. Right? That's the
Oh, is that different? Okay.
oh, it's
Okay.
just the fan base, right? Like they're pretty hardcore, and
Oh.
so.
Oh.
But the great thing I was telling Sega Man is I saw it online playing on in real time on
Mhm.
X. It's one of the reasons why I stay on X, and
Okay.
that you can gauge like once you can cross over like that, that's when you know things are changing. Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And it goes beyond the TV show. It's actually you're within pop culture, and
It
people
is
are
now.
memeing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are talking about it, but they're memeing it.
Everybody. So many people never knew what Fallout. I knew what Fallout was. I just never played it. But there was people who didn't even know what it was that was interested in it. Where does this story come from? They learning that it came from games and all that. Yeah, that it's really. And I tell you, you want to know one of my favorite things to do in '76, like on my leisure time, it's
Mhm.
to play the channels with the old music.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
what my
I
daughter
was just
does.
I just had fun and just was listening to the music as I was just killing things as I came across it. That is one of my favorite things to do.
My daughter
Oh,
was like telling me, "Oh, Dad, that's the song." That she likes the song. She goes, "That's
yeah,
the song you listen to," and it's
yeah,
country like John Denver, right? And I was like,
yeah. Classics. I actually love them. I love those songs. So I was like, oh man, this is
"You did
fun.
a great job in the TV show there of showcasing the music.
They did. They
Perfect."
really did. I don't know who they got to
Gio.
direct it and all that, but they should not. I heard they got approved of a second season, right? Didn't they get
Oh yeah,
approved of a second season? Okay, yeah, good, good.
they
Yeah.
better make it.
I'm
Right?
saying because like where that thing left off, they better bring that back. I'm like, shoot, you just cutting off now. Like, shoot, you better come back for another season. I feel the same way about Halo's second season too, though. I can't wait till it comes because the
Yeah,
flood is here.
I gotta resubscribe to Paramount. I thought I had it and I don't.
Oh man, you got it, man. You have to. Yeah. Also, I'm about to watch the Knuckles TV show on Paramount Plus. I can't. I love Sonic. I'm a huge. I love Sonic. Okay, so like
Yeah, I'm
I
a
gotta
big
watch
Sonic
that.
fan.
Man,
I'm a
man,
big Sonic fan.
I
if
thought
you
that was
got
on Netflix.
no, it's on Paramount Plus. It's out
Okay.
now. It just released, so I'm gonna be watching that tomorrow. Um, they put so much good quality in that show. It
Man,
looks
that
like a
sucks.
movie.
No, but you know we're not gonna, nah, man. We're not gonna get that like dollar for 3 month thing now Paramount because now Microsoft got to be
You
nice with
use
Amazon.
Oh, okay, okay.
See how they do? No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding.
I
I
know
gotta throw one bad thing.
they used to have a I don't know if they still got that promotion on there for
Yeah,
them.
okay. So I won't be a hypocrite. They should stop doing that. Like I said last part, have some pride.
Is that still on there? Was it on there? Was it on the perks that Paramount?
It was. I don't know when I saw it though, but it wasn't too long ago. But it was. But I don't know if it's still there though.
Hey, what's
But
up?
yeah, if you're interested in Sonic, check out the Knuckles TV show.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to check. You said that's on the Paramount though, right?
Yeah, they've been hitting that out of the park, and I can't wait for Sonic 3 this Christmas. I think it comes out around Christmas. I'm gonna be
The
there.
movie?
I love Sonic. Look, if you know anybody who loves Sega loves Sonic, man. You just that goes hand in hand. So I
Yeah,
love Sonic.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be watching that tomorrow. Hi, Unlimited. Why you so quiet?
It's cook. Oh
you
man,
cooking? Ooh.
can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you good?
What do we
Oh.
have?
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the- What's for dinner?
No, man. I'm just depressed because I ain't buy that beautiful Cancun water anymore. I miss the
Oh.
ladies out there.
Yeah,
Nah.
he's back to reality.
Yeah.
Back to life, back to reality, brother.
Nah, but seriously though, I just woke up and I saw that you guys were live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got on too. So.
Yeah. I fell excuse me, I fell asleep after work, so
Oh, okay.
I did that the other day, bro.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm because my allergies have been kicking my butt, so my energy is not like 100%. I don't know if I'll last the whole marathon, but I'm at least gonna be here for a while.
Yeah. But we'll just do a mini one, just for you.
Yeah, man. Look, listen to y'all before I jumped in. I'm officially officially counting down the days. We got 4 years before Starfield is well revered the way Fallout 76 is.
I know it's going to be. I told
Because
you
if
guys
you
I'd
look
be
back,
real.
if you look at Fallout 76 5 years ago when the first release, it was treated as the worst. I kid you not, one of the worst
Yep.
games
It was
ever.
bad.
Yep.
Wow.
Death of Bethesda. Every single YouTuber except for like one or two was hating the game, and those who actually played it were trying to tell everybody, no, this game has a lot of potential. This is a good game. So I can't wait to hear that about Starfield in a few years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the only thing I hope is that it doesn't take the game to go on the PlayStation for that narrative to change. That's the only thing I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want it. You know what? It's since the Xbox game. Let me change my stance. I mean, give me 9 years because it took Sunset Overdrive a decade for people to finally love that game.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
because
a
you look
long
at YouTube
time.
nowadays, the best games Insomniac ever made, and it's the game I've been praising since 20 whatever I first played it, 2015 or whatever year it came out, right?
Yeah, like 13 going 14 technically.
Yeah. You know, so give it 9 years. I can't wait till 9 years until it's actually loved like all the Xbox games. Rise Son of Rome is loved now.
Yeah.
You know, oh man, this game looks phenomenal. Is it Unreal Engine 5?
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of old school Xbox games now they're talking about it in a good light, you know.
yeah. It's almost as if people were told to hate them games, didn't actually play it, and now that they're playing it, they realize these games are great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the same thing I guess is happening with Sea of Thieves. I heard that game was actually pretty popular on PlayStation.
It was
Because the
They
other
bought
three
that.
games failed, and we got to remember the other three games are fucking failing on these other consoles.
Yeah, you're right. The other three, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about Grounded, so I don't know what that's doing.
Grounded didn't even crack PlayStation 5's top 200.
Oh wow.
Hi-Fi
That's one of
Rush
my
Hi-Fi
favorite
Rush
games.
didn't crack PlayStation's top 100, peaked at like 142.
Oh wow.
And Pentiment literally at one point had 6 players on PlayStation. They failed.
Okay.
You know, so what's probably going to happen? You know, and so when Satya says, man, you know, we got all these games, you know, they're obviously talking about the games that are right there, your Call of Duties, your Fallouts and stuff.
Mhm.
And Sea of Thieves might be the one new game of that list that's quote unquote dominating on PlayStation Store.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, so but with that said, Minecraft, how could I forget Minecraft?
Minecraft.
Now, Minecraft is also a game dominating on the stores and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So Xbox, you know, they got a good strategy going. And, you know, and they're going to do what they got to do for Xbox.
Right.
That's why me personally, I tend to be a bit more patient and a bit more forgiving when stuff changes. Because
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, you know, I ain't as wise as you guys, but I've experienced enough to see. All right, when something happens, things are going to change. You know, when the economy slows down, money's, you know, they stop hiring.
That's
you know,
true.
The companies you work
It's
start.
tight.
The companies you work for start spending differently, start
You're right.
tightening budgets and so on.
Yeah.
Dude, when people start counting pencils, you know, it's a
Yeah,
different time.
yeah,
And it's across the board. See, that's the thing I don't understand with the ponies. They act like they harping on Microsoft because they're down in the hardware. Like I gotta assume the consoles 31%. But I'm like, who has discretionary income to keep buying Xbox consoles? Number one, and then the higher end on that. I'm
Yeah.
assuming the X's
And-
is probably really hard for them to get their hands on.
And to Xbox credit, they don't need to lie about numbers the way Sony does. Where one minute we sold 55 million consoles, then the next it turned out no, you actually
Yeah.
didn't. You know, and then nobody knows what to. And then when you're a PlayStation fan, you just believe whatever the highest number
That's
you
it.
hear. It doesn't even have to be from Sony. It could just be from literally anything. That's why you'll get the trolls that say PlayStation 5 sold 68 million, Xbox 5 million. You know what I'm saying? Which is some numbers that are such obvious lies and false, but it doesn't matter to them. You know, because they're grasping to anything. And I do got to call bullshit when you guys talk about some of these guys being hardcore. No, they're fucking not. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys are not fucking hardcore. They're grifters, and don't let their fake passion trick you into thinking that anything else but whores for views, clicks, donations, and all that stuff.
Mm.
You know that's all it is, and I'm never going to be swayed otherwise.
Okay.
You know, because I don't see passion when they talk. I just see them switching to whatever narratives work at the moment. Because they don't believe a fucking word that comes out their mouth. Not a
Wow.
single word.
I mean, a lot of these guys, for me, dude, they're about the brand. right? This is why I knew.
Yeah, they're about to brand so much that they're jumping to PlayStation.
No,
They claim they're
PC.
jumping to PC now
Yeah,
that
that's
PlayStation.
and
They
Nintendo.
said this shit like 6 years ago, and then now that and then PlayStation been putting their games all generation, and now they're pretending that the come on now. I don't buy any of this for a moment. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be back playing on PlayStation when
Yeah.
another game drops for 5 minutes that nobody's gonna buy because and then PlayStation going to have another failure on their hands like they did all year with these games, and then everybody's going to be back wondering, oh, what's wrong with gaming? What's wrong with gaming? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just the casuals don't want to spend $70 on these boring ass games.
That's what I think. I don't think that Sony all they had is remakes and remasters, and then when they do get these occasional
That's all they
third
make.
parties and stuff, I just don't think they're enough for these casuals. They have more casuals than they have fanboys. We know this. And Xbox is the opposite. It doesn't have nearly as many of the casuals, but it has a lot more of the fanboys, right? So I think that they're struggling to get these casuals to pick up anything other than a Fortnite or a Call of Duty or something. That's what I think.
But that's what a casual is. The fact that they would rely on casuals to do that, that's a big problem. Like I was saying, like I knew these dudes were brand gamers, right? Because like Unlimited said, when Sunset Overwatch came out,
Sunset Overwatch.
Sunset Overdrive.
Sorry, Overwatch. When Sunset Overwatch came out, I said this when I had high hopes for it because that to me was a game that was going to cross platforms. Because at the end of the day, dude, it's a PlayStation game on Xbox, is what it is. And the fact that these dudes didn't come over and just to play the game like I would, right? You know, like I would do. Like that's why I own multiple consoles, right? Because I would go because there's games on other consoles that I would like to play. And when these guys do this, and these guys are supposed to be Sony guys, I knew they was full of crap. Because if a Sony fan would have played that game, like that's what you know, Unlimited. Like if they get access to this game, they're gonna love it because it's a Insomniac game,
Right.
and I believe that's the reason why Xbox brought them over so that they could have mass appeal, which it should have.
Exactly.
But
Not only that, they gave Microsoft even then gave them the freedom to own I think they want to own the IP or something like that.
Yeah.
Allowed them to mature that engine and everything.
Yeah.
And it was an excellent game, and nobody cared at the time.
That's why what's that Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah,
Didn't really surprise me. I was thinking it might because it's a Sony game, but then I was remembering.
What does it's a Sony game mean? Because when I play Sony games, I play these. They're all boring. Maybe it's old school Sony type game or something.
So like when you play Sunset Overdrive, right? It has like that quirkiness about it because it's Insomniac that you would find in some of the games. And that is PlayStation 2 type of era game, right? But the colors, the way it looks, the way it plays, right?
Like what game does it remind you of from the PlayStation 2 era? Because that was my least played console at that time.
No, just like any type of any type of platformer they had at that time.
Oh.
So they were like, I remember Sony
Sly
was
Cooper, Jack and Dexter.
Yeah, thank you. But it's same, man. You know, like I'm saying, like they at the time, like Sony was at least doing that, or not Sony really, but the third parties that were working on the platform, because there was just a little bit of freedom that they had, stepping away from Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo wouldn't know, Nintendo had certain ways that they wanted. Nintendo made their consoles for their games, and then if you came on their system, you just had to go with what they did. But when PlayStation, at least gave you that little bit of freedom, that's how I would say that much. Like that's how the genres expanded a little bit. Because there's people doing stuff on platformers, something as simple like Crash Bandicoot, where it's just not sideways, like or Klonoa. They would turn the camera angle or give it more of a 3D feel. Stuff that you see now on Xbox. I did Xbox. Like there's a lot of games that are like that. They mesh, and I think they do it way more better than we did back in the day. They're meshing different type of gameplay elements together on top of genres. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right.
So that's the only thing I mean by that. And that's why I call these guys brand gamers, because I'm like, dude, you just care about that Sony brand, the name,
Right.
a name, and just the name, nothing else. And this is why you guys are sucking right now, and why you're stuck going to PC.
Yeah, they ain't gonna make it on PC. I
Yeah.
just don't think if they truly are a console game, they're just not. And just like vice versa, if like I'm a person who can move back and forth, but because I always continue to have a console and a PC. But for people who are strictly PC or strictly console, they're not gonna do They're not gonna do that. They're too used to the way they play. They're just not gonna do it. So if they do get a PC, I don't think they'll be on it for long.
Yeah, they're going to learn the hard way when they got to deal with multiple launchers and all that other stuff, man.
Yep.
Yeah, they can't even handle their own console, let alone
Yeah.
the PC.
Yep.
That's crazy, man. So did you see the number? It's unlimited for the
Mm-hmm.
portables.
Yep, $20 billion potentially. I think it was a 62% increase in this last quarter, something like that. Really good stuff.
Yeah,
It
when I
was
saw that,
amazing. That's all people were saying. They was like shocked at
Yeah,
how much
except
money.
for IGN, who said that it was deceptive.
Oh gosh, IG. And this is who they're gonna have helping them with
Uh,
idea Xbox. What the heck is wrong with Microsoft?
I can't even get mad at this stuff anymore, Daya, because it's comedy,
It's
right on time, right on cue. You know what I'm saying?
Because isn't that
Mhm.
Monday, right? And we got to deal with IGN. See, this is why I said it's Xbox that forced me to deal with IGN. I love to be done with these people. I just can't.
Yeah.
I just channel my inner Loki there. I channel my inner Loki and I sit there. Does an ad have a problem with a boot? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I was like, Microsoft is so above, so far gone that they're like,
Yeah.
all right, we'll throw you these crumbs. Yeah, thanks for helping us. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. So, Xbox. That they always say, man, they got so much stuff they could do. They could do that January showcase, the ID showcase,
Oh,
the
yeah.
June showcase. Go to Gamescom, go to Tokyo Game Show, and still get hate the whole way. Meanwhile, people
Yep.
be begging Sony, be begging Nintendo for one iota of anything, man. The gaming communities is comical. I'm just so great that I'm enjoying gaming so much that it just doesn't affect me like that right now.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, because Xbox actually had a sale for a lot of Japanese games were on sale. So I
Oh,
bought the whole Kingdom Hearts games on Xbox.
Mhm.
I bought every one of them because they were on sale, and I was like, let me finally pick these up. Excuse me. So I've been playing a little bit of that recently. I saw that the new Star Wars game hit Game Pass.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's nice. That's a
yeah,
good pickup
yeah.
right
I heard
there.
segment talk about Harold Halibut, which I need to start playing soon. So there's a lot, man. I got Fallout 76 for free through Twitch Day. So if you got
Oh, that's
Amazon
cool.
Prime, you could get the game free
Yeah,
on
I already
Xbox.
got I claimed my Amazon Prime. I got
Yeah,
both the PC and the Xbox version, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
good. I'm
I gave the
covered.
PC version to my friend.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's
Because
nice. That was
you know
nice.
me, I don't do PC
Yeah,
gaming.
you don't game
Yeah,
on
my
PC.
best friend
That's
does.
good.
So
Yeah, I'm glad somebody got it.
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
must be nice.
So things are booming right now.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like Xbox is the only one who's really booming in gaming, and
Right.
everybody else is trying to figure out the landscape. And this is the pros of being ahead of the game when it comes to making these controversial changes. Is that you get the drama out the way first. Yeah, you're going to take the brunt of the hate, but when the smoke clears and everybody realizes, oh, I guess everything's going to be all right. Sega, Sega forever.
Mhm.
You end up in a situation where, okay, cool, I'm down with this. And that's kind of how I feel. Where, yeah, all right, Xbox, you're gonna do what you got to do. I don't got, and then just for me in general, this is just the kind of person I am. Really, at this point in life, where I don't really sweat the stuff I can't change. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. I'll speak my opinion, and if I'm upset about it, I'll be upset for a while. But if it ends up working out, cool. If not, then I could take my money elsewhere. But right now, I just feel like Xbox is the only one really giving us our bang for our buck, and I don't even think it's close because I recently bought a Switch, and my goodness, Nintendo's behind the times. And this is how far behind the times Nintendo is. I hated the Switch Lite. I realized it wasn't for me, so I got rid of it. I actually traded it in for the OLED, and I did not realize that Switch doesn't have cloud saves unless you pay for it.
Yeah.
I think, and so whatever little saves I had on the Switch Lite was deleted, and I literally had to start everything over on the Switch that I traded in for, and that just makes me want to get rid of the whole thing in general. Because what's the fucking point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With
yeah.
Xbox, since you don't got to pay for it, all you got to do is boom, save your game. It's on the cloud anytime you log in, or pick up where you left off. I mean, I literally replayed the South Park game, a save that I started in 2017, 7 years ago, and finished the game recently, right? And it feels like only Xbox has provided that ease of use that nobody. I don't think it. I think it goes under the radar how consumer friendly using Xbox is, and if this is and now imagine taking that. Imagine you pick up a game from the 360, right? And you could do your cloud gaming or your gaming on your phone or whatever, or you know what I'm saying. And you literally playing games from 2 decades ago, damn near, that you're able to save on the cloud. I just don't see anybody in gaming topping that. And little stuff like that just has to be all in with Xbox right now, where it's just so easy to use, so consumer friendly. My games are going anywhere you want, closer and closer to just being universal. And if the next Xbox is a universal Xbox, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because you can't get any more bigger than literally playing every single Xbox game you own.
Yep.
And that to me is the dream console.
It'd be interesting when that bad boy launches.
Yeah.
And that's another great thing too. It's just like I'm not, like I said, like we had discussions about this. There's some things I like that they're not doing. But again, over 90% of the stuff they're doing, and this is one of those things with backward compatibility. But also, like even Satya kind of said this, it's like they're gonna meet you where you are. Right? They're gonna meet you where you want to be, and they want to be right there with you. And that's kind of the thing I see that Microsoft is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I say Microsoft proper because they're the ones that fit the bill. But that's what they're gonna do moving forward. Does that mean that they're gonna get rid of a console? Obviously not, because Sarah Bond's out there, being the awesome person that she is, to reassure us. She's like our one anchor. At least old guys like me, like bitter people, like myself, right? She's my one anchor to Xbox because she reminds us, right? She reminds us, hey, by the way, this is happening, or this launch, or congratulations to this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always a pleasure to follow her because she's a good reality checker for me.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to this kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm not losing faith in Xbox. I mean, they're rich, dude. How could you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I try and at least read the tea leaves, and again, for some of the guys, it's like, oh, dude, it's like you're losing hope. I'm like, no, dude, I'm just being honest. We're gonna talk honestly about this stuff. We're not gonna sugarcoat it, and the positive far outweighs the negatives. Hey, what's up, brother? Are you there?
Hello,
You
Hebot.
podcast?
He bought the world's most powerful driver.
Yeah. He's busy today.
Hola.
Hey, what's up, brother? What's up? I'm glad you can make it.
Hola. Yeah, 15 hours later, that was fucking doing the powerful driving.
Yeah.
Like Emily just said. What's going on, guys?
I got your text, so me and Sega Man, we just kind of roll with it. We were hoping that you could come in, and then Data joined as well as Unlimited, so we're out here.
Awesome. Guys and gals. How are you?
Good.
Pretty good.
Oh no, what's this?
What were y'all talking about? What are we talking about? Oh, we just chit-chatting?
No, we're just talking about the direction Microsoft is taking Xbox, and how, for me, I feel like, it's all right, minus a couple things, right? So.
Minus the fact that they're just fucking greedy and just want money?
Yeah,
Jeez.
to go with that. But did you see Satya? Satya got interviewed. Did you see that?
Oh, God. Don't even remind me.
Yeah, he's definitely want to go in a different direction. But I think they'll be okay at the end of the day.
Yeah, they'll be okay. They'll definitely be okay.
And that's what I mean, Hebot. It's just like, I'm pretty sure they looked at stuff and they're kind of like, look, we're gonna move in this direction. I think they're cognizant of the fact that guys like us wouldn't like some of the stuff that they were doing, but they're gonna move forward anyway. Which I'm fine with.
There's one thing that has to be called out that people don't want to do, and That's the console sales. They keep complaining that they don't got sales and growth, but that's because they don't give a reason to buy the console. They keep on doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
They keep doing that. Nobody gonna want to buy it. The way you buy something because you're giving a reason to buy it because it has an identity. If you keep taking away from it, no one's gonna be interested.
And I think
They promote certain services more than they do their own console. Then don't complain about hardware. Why are you making another console? Why are you investing so much fucking R&D to make something right for the next generation if you're not concentrating on consoles? At this point, you just care about PC and streaming. And that's because Phil's a fucking PC guy, and the streaming is bringing them whatever money they can easier than anything else. Like I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. It was Xbox the console. It wasn't Xbox the brand. You get what I'm saying?
But I think that's what they're gonna do. They're moving forward. They're gonna move.
That's
forward.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don't complain about the console sales. That's all I'm saying. There's no point. Don't do it because you're doing it to yourself. You're self-inflicting. You're doing it to yourself.
Well, I mean, after you see the quarter numbers too, though, right? You're like, dude,
Yeah, but they're trying to make it seem like those quarter numbers have to do with the games they brought over when it's not. All that shit is Call of Duty on all the other platforms. That's all that is. And Call of Duty, like I said, is an anomaly. No other game is gonna do that shit other than GTA or maybe Minecraft. Okay, Sea of Thieves not gonna do that. Pentiment didn't do that. Grounded's not gonna do that. Hi-Fi Rush didn't do that. There's no game that's going to do that. None. They need to start acting like, oh yeah, we're gonna make money. We're gonna make buku money here. That no, you're not. Stop. The only thing that's gonna make you money is Call of Duty. That's it. That's it. That's because everybody in the fucking world, from Marine soldiers to teenagers to little kids, they all play Call of Duty. They go, we gotta stop the bullshit. Like they try to act like it's because we brought all our games to devices everywhere else. No, it's not. Because we know that those games didn't sell. They did not sell on PlayStation. You got to stop. You got to stop the bullshit. They're doing too much of that PR talk and treating people like we're stupid. We're not stupid. We can see. Anybody with a fucking brain can see. Now, if you want to act like you don't want to see or you blinded, that's different. But anybody with a brain can see. They're not stupid. They're playing it off. Call of Duty is gonna make you money no matter what. Of course it is. So keep that multiplat. That's fine. Do whatever you gotta do. And stop acting like everything else is gonna make you money because it's not. I don't even think if they brought Halo to PlayStation to make them money, to be honest, because the motherfuckers don't like Halo like that. This is just dumb.
Yeah. When they talk about dominated PlayStation stores, it's Fallout, Call of Duty, Minecraft. That's what I was saying when I first got in.
Mhm.
The games that are dominating on the PlayStation stores are the stuff that's already there. Elder Scrolls Online.
Facts. It's just stuff that people follow for years, Unlimited.
Yeah. It's
multi-plat. That's all it is. But they're trying to make it seem as if whatever we put there is going to make us money. No, it's not. Stop it. If you know, right, my point is this, okay, keep the Fallouts, keep the Call of Duties. What we already know is traditional that people are going to buy because they always were multi-plat. Keep them there. Fine. No problem. Make your money. But don't waste your time bringing Gears or Halo, let's say, for example. I'm not saying they are, but for example, to PlayStation when you know they're not going to embrace the shit. They're not. Yeah. If anybody embraced them shits, they would have been bought an Xbox to play those games alone because they're worthy to just buy an Xbox for those games alone. You get what I'm saying?
Well, they already did that. How do I know this? Because 40 million has played Sea of Thieves and the game has reached on PlayStation. 20 million played Grounded, and I don't know why Grounded success is so ignored. And you know, it's not doing anything on Nintendo or PlayStation.
I can't believe it because that game was popular on PC. At least among my circles, it was. And
because those games cater to gamers. On the Xbox front is the old school gamers and the real gamers that are not even on social. You get what I'm saying? That actually play games. They're not wasting their time talking to motherfuckers like Porter Rock or like fucking Digital Foundry, paying attention to that. They're playing games.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Sorry to cut you off, but we do need to clarify how most people are not Most of these gamers, they are not. They don't know who these guys are. They are
Yeah.
not. 'Cause just look at the subscriber count versus the number of consoles out there.
That's
It's
a
pretty
fact.
clear that most of them have no clue who some of these personalities are, and it's
That's
not
a
even
fact.
close. Someone like IGN, maybe the average gamer might know since they're
Well, they gotten bigger,
well-known.
right?
But motherfuckers do not know who Digital Foundry is, or they really
Mm.
don't know who the fuck Portal Rock or Tin Dog is.
All right, exactly.
Like, yeah, those,
That's my point. That's a fact.
Oh, we
But,
lost-
but that's why they did good. That's why Grounded would do good on the Xbox ecosystem and console, because the people on Xbox love different games, diversity, like trying different things. That's why Game Pass, you'll see so many people trying different things. On PlayStation, they're conditioned to like one thing. Is games that look like movies with high quality graphics, a bunch of cinematics, minimalistic gameplay. They'd rather sit there with a controller, eating popcorn, watching the story than playing a video game. That's how they're conditioned. That's why when you're seeing all this rhetoric about Stellar Blade, that's all BS. The only reason they're trying to push and hype it is because they know Hellblade is coming out. And so they want something to come fight it, to act like they got a banger next to Hellblade. That's why they're doing that. Because that game is supposed to be multi-plat. And then Sony went and paid them to make it exclusive because they wanted something for them to combat Hellblade this month in May. That's all it was. It was a strategic move because that game has been in development. It was announced first from multi-console, and Xbox was one of them. That game was announced 5 years ago. A Korean developer, and he finished it now. Okay? So again, it's all BS. Them dudes like only a certain type of game, their fan base. That is it. That's why those games do not sell. Even their games, as we see with the numbers, which we've been tired of saying many times already, even their games don't sell as much as they used to. Because people are also getting tired of it, bored of it, because it's the same formula. Video games have to keep changing and going back to other genres to keep it fresh and keep it interesting. When you keep doing the same shit over and over again, you're going to plateau and it's going to get boring. You got to bring out different shit. And that is where Xbox finds their success, because they bring out different types of genres, different types of games, whether they're AAA or not. These dudes only want AAA, movie-driven, bare minimum gameplay, hold your hand type of shit. You saw that they just announced that shit where they're doing that, some type of update where the game basically gonna play for the players and do
Yeah,
everything
it
for them
plays
to unlock
itself
all the
basically.
achievements. Yeah, to unlock all the achievements. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is that? That's ridiculous. That tells you right there the type of players they have on their spectrum. You see what I'm saying? That's what I said. That's like Microsoft is trying to act like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring all these games because they're gonna sell like hockey. No, they're not. Stop. That's all Activision and Bethesda bullshit. Just like Unlimited said, that's all it is. Because those games always been multi-plat, always.
do you think they're still gonna? Do you think they're still gonna bring games over though?
At this point, I don't trust them. I don't believe them. I think they're liars. I don't believe them.
No,
But
but I mean, because I really the way I look at it is, I think regardless, they're still gonna keep on doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe them. I think they're just going to keep doing it, thinking that acting as if they're making money when clearly they're not, because you saw the numbers. There was only 6 people playing Pentiment on PS5 and PlayStation. Why the fuck would you even waste the time for R&D to convert it and make a port for that console? Spend that money if you're only going to have 6 people play it.
You know what the problem with Pentiment was? They had to read.
Yeah, exactly. But my point,
That's true.
is, why would you waste your time? Sega forever. Why would you waste your time in R&D to port over games when you're spending more money than what you're going to make? I know for them it doesn't matter because they have money.
Yeah, they're rich. Yeah.
But why would you do that as a smart investor or smart business person, right? That makes no logical sense. You tried it, it didn't work. Let's move it. Forget about it. We don't got to do that anymore. Why do you need more players when you got 40 million plus players on a game that keeps making money?
Shareholders in growth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the two words you got to pay attention to now is the big word you got to pay attention to now going forward is about his growth. If you don't hear the word growth, expect bad news.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, listen, man. The priority is, when it comes to these companies, man. As much as I love Xbox, man, the priority is going to be them shareholders first.
Yeah, shareholders.
If they aren't happy, they don't give a shit what Hebot think, what Unlimited think, what Deus, Sega Forever, or Sega Man think. Phil could be doing the world's greatest job, and they say, well, we're not seeing growth in console. They're gonna be like, why not? You guys better grow something, and boom, then you get these type of moves. So, I guess I'm not as passionately upset about it as Hebot is because of stuff like that. Because I just like, man, it's business, and right. But I'm with you there. I don't like it. I'm not going to sit there and pretend I like it.
I still don't like it, and I've told people I'm never going to like it.
Yeah.
But that's because I understand it.
What gets me mad, guys, right? Not to cut you off because you guys are all giving valid points. What gets me mad is that they're complaining about hardware sales, right?
Are they complaining?
No, it's the ponies that's using that.
Well, I mean, they keep
sounding happy, so
they keep saying that hardware sales are down, right?
Yeah, well, that's because they got to report this stuff.
They have to report
even the streaming service is down, right? For example, right? But
what are you talking about? Game Pass?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard them say that it didn't meet expectations. That's what I keep hearing them say.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That it didn't meet the expectations of numbers that they were expecting at this point, right? Yeah. So my point is this. You want that to grow, there's only one way to grow it. And it's not by putting it everywhere. It's by making the hardware that you're offering, right, be the only place where you can access everything you need to access that's Xbox. And that's not what they're doing. So if you're not doing that, then don't say, oh, we couldn't meet our expectations, because that's your own self. You're self-inflicting. You're doing your self-infliction yourself. And then don't sit there acting like, oh, we're disappointed. No, you're not. You're not disappointed. Because if you were, then you wouldn't keep doing it. If you were disappointed, bro, that shit would stop immediately. And their full marketing and concentration would be on advertising Xbox consoles hard to the bone every fucking day, everywhere you go, instead of just, let's put everything everywhere, or let's do Game Pass. That's all they do. They don't do commercials for the Xbox console anymore. You barely see it.
They don't do it for Game Pass either. I agree with that. Yeah.
They don't. Their marketing is absolute dog shit. I don't know why, but it is. Because they think that the marketing only counts by being on social, or when you turn on the Xbox and you see it on the tabs. In order for people to see that, you got to buy one. So if you don't buy one, you're not going to see it. So what's the point? You see what I'm saying?
Do you think they're trying to course correct with the new console?
They better figure it out, because there's no point in making it 3 times more powerful if you're going to do the same dumb shit again. The first course correction is, you make Morrowind a fucking launch game, you make Perfect Dark a fucking launch game, and you make sure that it stays there. It don't go nowhere else. You want it, you buy this console or play on PC, because we already know they're not going to get away from that, because they love the PC space for whatever reason. Okay?
For whatever reason. That's where Windows is at.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Absolutely, but that's a launcher. I look at Windows as a launcher, because when you look at the numbers on PC, games is never high. You know what I mean?
Microsoft has been making games for PC for a long time.
Absolutely.
I was there playing some of them games.
Absolutely.
But long before Xbox existed. I'm just
what saying. I mean is, what I'm saying, my point of says is when you look at the numbers, their numbers for their games on sale wise, right? For PC, they're always been low. They're not high either. It's just like PlayStation.
Yeah, because
when God of War came over,
the Xbox platform, it doesn't go into PC. Now they're starting to change that, but
right. But like you saw when Sony put God of War, they were touting it and Helldivers, right? And it was only like 300 or 400,000 players,
right?
Versus the millions that they get on an Xbox console. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
But PC game, I'm trying to clarify some things with you. The
Sure.
Xbox is excellent with console. I've told you guys before, they're excellent. They know how to cater to the console gamer. They've been doing it for years. And although they're comfortable with PC, they haven't necessarily been targeting the PC gamer with specific games that they like, right? It's a different audience. It's just like you're not gonna make an Xbox type of game work on a Nintendo, or a PC game work on a Xbox. You can go a little bit back and forth a little bit, but there are differences with the gamers there. And the same,
Yeah, like Age of Empire, they always target that for PC.
Right. Now, what I've seen is that until they started acquiring more studios, they really was just sticking with the same IP. And most people had either, if they came from console, they already played that, or they moved on, or whatever, or they might still have a console and they still play it or something, but it wasn't moving the needle enough in PC. So now they're starting some of the games that penetrated, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, is Forza is very popular over there. I thought Grounded was popular. I saw a lot of people playing that title. Like, now that they got games like companies like Bethesda, Blizzard, these people know how to cater to the PC gamer because that's all they've done. So what they're doing is they're shoring up their weak areas, right? Again, brilliant on Microsoft to do that, but that's what they're doing. That they didn't know how to do that before, so they bought people who do. So the reason why that's happening is because before they was giving y'all 100% of their attention, as they should. The console was everything for them. But now that they're branching out, they have to get people who know how to do the kind of games that PC gamers like, or they doing mobile or wherever else they put in games. They got to understand the audience that they're catering to, and that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's a whole multifaceted issue. Like, there's really no one. My personal belief, he bought Deus, Sega Forever, and Sega Man, is that there's really, there's so many multifaceted aspects to this, to everything.
Yeah, there's no one size fits all.
And I just don't, like, my gut tells me that what has worked for the last 20, 30, 40 years probably isn't working to the extent anymore. And everybody in gaming is trying to figure it out. And Microsoft are taking the worst of it because they're the first ones who are really just trying to be like, all right, how are we going to pivot this? And then eventually everybody's going to follow suit, and it's not going to be as big as a deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what my gut tells me, but I could be wrong. For me personally, I'm in the wait and see mode when it comes to the long-term plans.
Yeah.
And I'm still happy with Xbox enough to where I mean, for example, I recently got the Switch, and it's just such a and I was saying this. I bought the Switch Lite, right? I got it for super cheap, hated it, traded it in for a regular Switch he bought because and then I didn't realize that the Switch didn't have automatic cloud saves, right? So whatever games I was playing, I lost all the files. And then when I turn on the new Switch, I realized I got to start over with everything. Wow. And it feels like, what's the fucking point of owning this garbage? That's the feeling I had, right? And it's the fact that Xbox is so easy to use that if I bought it, if something happens on Xbox, he bought every single game I have. If I bought a new one, I'll pick up where I left off. Even games that I have saves from 9, 10 plus years. And that's something that with Sony, that doesn't happen unless you're paying for it. And same with Nintendo. And so, you know what I'm saying? And the rest of the gaming industry, they're so far behind on what Xbox is doing that they're trying to figure stuff out too.
Yeah.
That's why. Listen, Sony is 1 foot away from doing some of the same stuff Microsoft is doing. It's just that they're 6 years behind, so they're at stage 2, which is putting their games on PC. And then when that fails, and they're not making, and then when that fails, and they're not making money on their games, you know what they're gonna start saying next? Maybe we're gonna dabble in this game on Xbox and Nintendo. Watch.
Right.
But
the thing is, the difference is though they have to do it. It's Sony. Budget wise, they're nowhere near in the situation that Microsoft is, right? That's what I'm saying with Microsoft. With Microsoft, the fact that they have the pockets as deep as they are, and they've been doing so much money every year, it's money, even though they have, less hardware sales according to their numbers, or less, let's say, Game Pass subscribers according to the numbers, or not as quick as they want, whatever the case may be, right? Because this is all speculation, even though they're talking. When it's all said and done, it's all speculations, right? We're giving ourselves our most educated analysis and thoughts based on what we see, right? Or what they're saying. And it's pretty vague for the most part. They can, in other words, I feel like they're forgetting about their console space gamers,
Right.
which is something they never used to do. You see it, as they have pointed out. And now they're just concentrating more on everybody else, more than the console-based gamers.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about, how you can't complain about a space if you're not putting the effort in that space, but yet you're making it seem like well, there's no growth, we're disappointed. Well, why? If you're not putting the effort in that space. Now you're worrying about, like they were saying, PC, Game Pass services, mobile, putting games on other consoles. They're worrying about everything else and forgetting about the people that make them who they are to this point. Because it was the console gamers. Since the OG Xbox. It was the console gamers that made Xbox big, the 360, and full force, and therefore, for example. So if you're forgetting about the console-based gamers, then you can't complain when they're either leaving the platform, not investing as much in the platform, or speaking out with, resentment, anger, disappointment, whatever the case may be, right? Because when I speak, like I said, I'm not speaking out of anger or hate. I'm just speaking as like, where's the logic in this? Because I've been a supporter of the console, buying their product day in, day out, as soon as it comes out, right? In multiple facets, in multiple amounts. And now I feel like, even though I spend all this money, the people on mobile gaming and on Sony are getting better attention than I am. You see what I'm saying? As a consumer of Xbox console, again, I reiterate, my complaint is coming from a console standpoint, a console fan standpoint, not from an Xbox standpoint, but from a console consumer for Xbox.
Right.
You get what
That's
I'm saying?
why I try to put myself in the
Yeah.
console.
You see what I'm saying?
I always say console only gamer. That's how
Well,
I put it,
day one, I had bought 4 X's. 4 Series X's day one. That was $2,000. Right? Day one. So if I bought the console and I'm expecting the console to give me stuff like the upcoming Hellblade 2, right?
Right.
Then I want that Hellblade 2 to be prioritized on my console. Not that you go 2 months later and say, we're going to put it on PS5, and then on PS5, it has better graphics, even though the console and the hardware is weaker.
Yeah.
That makes logical sense. And again, I don't want to come in here like I did last week, sounding like I'm being doom and gloom. I'm not. I'm just trying to talk with logic and from the heart of what I feel is wrong. You cannot forget your consumer base, your most important consumer base, to cater to someone else. You're supposed to cater to your consumer base first. That's the most important, which would be the console-based gamer. And then everything else is a bonus, right? That's how they're supposed to treat it. But in this case, they're not doing that. In this case, and it could very well be what Unlimited said. Could be because since most of the younger generation don't really look at consoles the way we do.
They don't. They've moved on. They never even been on there. Their
vision of consoles is more about playing on the phone, playing on the tablet, playing on Twitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Live as a service or for competition. That's how they look at it.
That's it. Yep.
So they don't really know the importance of what it was and the value to have a console that had dedicated games that you could only find there, dedicated experiences, right? And when people like myself and most of the guys here in the panel, even yourself included as a young lady, right? Or older woman playing games, right? We were raised in a different type of way with consoles. Like the value of the console came from what the console's identity was, which was what games you can play there that you can't play somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind if they want to share a few games. It makes from a business standpoint, that makes perfect sense, no problem. But then don't sit there and say that we're priority number one, like they said multiple times in interviews. Our console gamers always will be number one. Our console fan base will never forget. We'll never leave them behind. They're our pride and joy, basically, right? And for lack of a better term, and verbatim, not an actual word for word, but of whatever they say, right? But yet, when you show your actions, you're not showing me that that's what you're doing. What you're showing me is that you want to put more games somewhere else, even though you know it didn't sell, because you just hoping that you're going to keep throwing. You know how you keep throwing, the bait until finally a fish catches onto it. Now, finally, something will catch, and it'll make you a lot of money, just like Call of Duty, for example. And then you'll be like, "Oh yeah, you see, we told you it would work." No, because
But
you're
may I add something to what you're saying?
absolutely.
I think that Matt Booty was quoted as saying that he believed that this is why I believe that they were ordered to do it, because it didn't sound like he was that happy, but he said that the Xbox brand he don't believe that it hurt the Xbox brand in the way that is like irreparable, but he believed that it strained the Xbox brand and to do that. And he even acknowledged that. And I got the feeling from that yeah, I don't think that's what they wanted to do, but that the people above them kind of, say, hey, you're doing this. We just loaned you $70 billion. Yeah, you're going to do it.
Yeah. It sounds like, it sounds like as great as a pick of Activision was, it's ended up being a curse in disguise, in the sense that that the eyes that never really had eyes on Xbox like now are now the ones that are at least attempting to run something. Because at the end of the day, you're going to do what the CEO wants. I don't care how powerful you think you are in Microsoft. Nobody's going to top the board of directors or the big guy in charge. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to fucking happen, right? And it seems like that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying, Hebot? Is that there are powers that be who don't care about gaming, don't know about gaming culture like Phil and them does. Don't have their ear on the gaming community, don't understand what made Xbox, and see gaming the way that they see Windows and everything else, where Office, you could get Office on your phone, and they're like, why aren't our games on literally every single platform available? And they're going to straight up ignore. I don't know if they're straight up ignoring, but there's definitely something going on at Microsoft right now, Hebot, where you could just tell that something there was a shift.
Something changed. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
feel
there's
it.
a shift, right? And that shift is going to happen whether Phil likes it, or Sarah, or Matt Booty, or whoever who might have saw things more as the gamer would, or as somebody who has their foot in gaming. Look, this is how you build a brand. This is how you build a successful brand. This is how you get that brand loyalty, and that brand loyalty is clearly important, as we see with places like Apple and Nintendo, who have had success strictly from brand loyalty, no matter how terrible their products are, right? And then the power. Then there's some other force, the powers that be, that I'm gonna call them, who's like, no, why? They just see the numbers, basically. Why aren't we growing? Why didn't we grow this? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why isn't this game here? And like Nadal has said for a minute now, he don't like the concept of exclusivity, but that's where we are with gaming and stuff like that. And if that's what they're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? And you're right. You got to focus on the people that brought you to the table. Basically, you got to focus on the Xbox people that brought you there. But
Microsoft will have their loyalty with no problem, unlimited.
Yeah,
because they have good quality product. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have no issue, especially when you got, like you said, companies like Apple and Nintendo that do shittier products, and look at how loyal the brand is. But that's because they stick to that brand and don't change.
Yeah, and Nintendo, and Nintendo, unlike Xbox, doesn't grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. And Nintendo, Boston Nintendo doesn't have the same pressure that Xbox and Microsoft does.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That at the same time, though, Nintendo just has Nintendo, and their games and their cost and their value of technology is nowhere near in the level of Xbox. That's $100 million to make. Their AAA's probably cost maybe 10, maybe 15 million to make, and then they get that shit back in one or 2 months because their game sales, especially with their exclusives, always are high, right? So that's a whole different ballgame. You know, when you only have one thing, obviously you're gonna think like that's the only one thing you have to protect, right? Because they don't have an opening into the mobile space or into the PC space. So I get that, you know. That's why I use it as an example, but it's not a fair assessment because they're in a totally different position, right? If you will. But you know, again, like I said, if they brought smaller games, like I said, no problem, it's fine. But when you see it doesn't make no numbers.
Yeah, you gotta pull the plug on that shit.
Yeah, don't sit there and act like because we're playing games on other devices is making us money. When the reality is no, but Bethesda games and Call of Duty for Activision is making because they've always been multi. Stop saying that because you're putting games on other platforms, you're making money. It's not true. Those games always
Is
been.
it just me, or does he sound far away?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know what tunnel you're driving off of, Dan, but you're really hard to hear a second ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
it sounded
about
like
now?
you were going far away or something.
Is it still? Am I still sounding far away?
No, it sounds better now.
It sounds like he was reaching for something.
All right. So what I was trying to say, you know, just what bothers me is they're trying to act like because they're bringing other, you know, games to other platforms, they're making all this money, but it's not. It's the games that have always been multi-plat, and people have been conditioned to always having those games, set games, multi-plat. Don't sit there and act like Hi-Fi Rush made you money because it did it. Stop. So what do? Keep bringing the Call of Duties. Keep bringing even the Elder Scrolls or whatever games, right? Bring those, fine, no problem. But leave the Gears and the Halos and the Forzas where they belong on Xbox. That's it. Leave your AAA games where they belong on Xbox, or your first-party games where they belong on Xbox or the Windows platform. Fine. Stop trying to act like if you bring them somewhere else, you're going to make money because it's not happening and everybody can see it. And you're trying to act like it's not, or like it is working in your favor when it's not. You know, and as far as the hardware, if you push it a little more, it will pick up sales. Because when they did it with Starfield, it sold. When they were selling the rack for Starfield, it was selling. When they were doing, you know, promotions for Redfall, it was selling. The numbers were there. You went to Amazon, it was selling it by number one on Amazon, okay? And it didn't even have a custom console. So don't sit there and say that promoting the games that are big enough to bring that attention that it won't sell. Of course it'll sell. But you got to give the reason. But when you don't do commercial, how do you make an X-Men console? When right now the hype and the talk is, X-Men 87, right? Or 97, whatever the fuck it is, right? Excuse my language. And you make that shit where it's only through a sweepstake.
Limited edition.
Yeah, they've been doing that for so long.
How do you do that? Bro, that was the first thing you should have been, let's make 500,000 of these things. Let's get them out the door. Because they're going to sell. All you see on Twitter is, why you got to make this in stores where we can buy it? Look at the SpongeBob. The SpongeBob console, $700 unlimited. You know that. That shit sold out.
Yeah, immediately.
I'm
surprised that wasn't a giveaway because they did a giveaway with the Black Panther console, the Star Wars console, pretty much every custom console that wasn't Halo over the last, Halo, the Gears or the Forza one was a giveaway for some reason.
if you remember, the fucking SpongeBob was given away first as a sweepstake with a Ninja Turtle one. I think it was sometime last year.
Oh, that's right. They did do the Ninja
And
Turtle.
because it did so well, and it was so highly, people asked for it, that's when they decided to do it with Nickelodeon, the SpongeBob one. And look how fast that sold. You gonna tell me it's not gonna sell consoles? It's gonna sell consoles. That X-Men shit with the hype behind X-Men right now. Like right now, believe it or not, even though it sounds corny, they should be doing a Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 74 or Fallout 4 custom console, even if they do a limited amount. And that shit is gonna sell because the hype is all around Fallout right now. It'll fucking sell, just like they did the controllers. It will fucking, or do the wraps, do multiple wraps. It's gonna sell.
Did you say do the rats?
Yeah, the wraps, the one that you got.
Oh, the wraps.
Like the wraps, the one that you got, like the one from Starfield. Do like 4 different Fallout ones for every single game. Unlimited at $50 a pop. It's gonna fucking sell. Okay, it's gonna sell. Because the Fallout hype right now is retarded. Motherfuckers can't even find the game in the store physically.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
like,
man,
what the fuck?
why don't you take Aaron Greenberg's job as head of marketing, man? Dude, that's some good
Somebody
ideas.
need to. I
Right.
people might not like me for saying, especially Zink, if he's ever listening to this.
Mhm.
I do not like Alan Greenberg as marketer. I think he's just not good. I think they need to replace
He's
him
not
with somebody-
aggressive enough. He's good, but not aggressive.
Well,
They-
they need somebody new. They done had him forever, and I think
They
it's
need
time for
somebody
somebody else.
aggressive. They need somebody young that knows how to read these young audiences from
Yes.
these kids that be on social, so he knows how to attack them. You get what I'm trying to say?
I agree with that. As long as
That's
we
what
can
they
try
need.
something different, like goodness.
I just want to say the views and opinions of people on this podcast do not reflect the views of opinions of the host.
Oh, yeah.
You said we're good as dead, huh? Well, if I get sniped in my sleep, just know I'm pointing. I'm gonna be mentally pointing the finger at Zink. Wherever he may be.
I think that in the case of Aaron Greenberg, because there were times where him and Mikey Barra would kind of say stuff and they told him not to.
Right.
So I think
I
that's what it
like
is.
Alan Greenberg as a person. Don't get me wrong. I always felt like he wasn't good enough as a marketer, head of marketing. I always wanted somebody different, and I still stand by that. I would love to see somebody new, fresh. Get some new ideas in there. I really would. I would love to see it.
I think he fits. I think he fits the mold of what they want it to be like there. Because this is what I say. This is where Xbox reminds me of, and I hope they don't go down this route, but they're on the verge. It's like they're a jack of all trades and a master of none. But when you try and do a lot of variety, or you try to give a lot of people what they want and stuff like that, stuff gets lost in the mix. So I don't think they're that way now, but I mean, there's a possibility that they could end up that way. So I hope not. Hey, Hiba.
Yeah, like I said, I got attacked. I got attacked again. I hope it wasn't our boy Gogo Pole. He probably attacked me. Got me out.
You're on his most wanted list.
Yeah, right now, Gogo Pole don't like me right now.
Oh,
But don't worry, Gogo Pole don't snipe, dude. Gogo Pole would be in the comments right now. He goes.
yeah, Google Pole. Yeah, you two better kiss and make up. Google Pole, if you're watching,
No, I'm fine with him. But it's just that he was upset with me.
yeah.
And I didn't mean to get him upset. But it's just like But like I was saying, Aaron Greenberg is an amazing human being.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
he is a good
But
person.
if you notice, he was marketing like crazy when Xbox One first came out. He stopped. He stopped doing it. I don't know if they told him to stop or he just got fed up because he would say one thing that Xbox would do another thing, which is completely understandable. But the marketing that I feel works now is people or someone on the same mentality level as these kids on social, so that they can know how to target that audience, and it will bring more interest to Xbox. Because the same way they're trying to shift to what may work now as far as selling and making more money, right? Is the same way they have to think about it with how they should target things with their marketing. Because it's not there. It just isn't. Like I said, when's the last time you saw Xbox console commercial.
That's on purpose, bro. I think.
But on purpose for what? How does that help them, my brother? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
they don't
confusing
wanna,
to me.
they don't want to rock the boat. Because
They
remember,
wanna-
before Phil took over, they would say stuff. Him and Mikey Barra. Yeah, Mikey
Mhm.
Barra, right? And then Aaron kind of calmed. Aaron didn't really say anything. So, I mean, that's the vibes that I get from Microsoft now. So. That's what I was saying last time. It's just like, it's not that I'm not involved in it anymore, but look, dude, if you're not going to defend yourself, I can't defend you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How are we supposed to defend something that they don't defend themselves? Like,
No, we do what Unlimited do. We just play our games. That's what I've been doing.
That's why
well,
I
I
do
mean,
too.
we've been playing our games.
Yeah.
That's an understatement. The point is, though, we've been out here since 2013, staying face, giving them the benefit of the doubt, and every time they take one step forward, they take two steps back. As far as perception goes, right?
Yeah.
Even though perception may not make the money, but perception at least brings awareness to the casuals, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
It brings more awareness to the casuals because casuals follow perception as much as people may not believe it. They do. Why you think you have all these people talking about Fallout? How long has Fallout been available? Forever.
Yeah, it's been out. Yeah.
Forever. All of a sudden, you got all these Twitch people, young people, people buying the merchandise, acting like, oh my God, Fallout, because of a fucking TV show. Right?
No, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
No, it's a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. But my point is, most of these people are bandwagon jumpers. They're not real. They're hypocrites. They're just doing it because it's the it thing. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But you know,
And that's what I'm
See,
saying.
that's
my
the
point.
show is doing its job. The show is always supposed to point.
Oh,
to the
absolutely.
person. Whether it's
Absolutely.
Marvel pointing at comics or Fallout
That's why
pointing
I'm-
at games. That's what it does. But then if you get there, you don't like what you see, then that's a whole nother story. But
Well, look at Marvel. Look at what Marvel's trying to do.
Unfortunately, that never translated with comics. As popular as the MCU was,
Absolutely.
they start buying comics. It didn't matter how good or bad the comics was. They were never going to go to the comic store and buy a comic.
yeah,
yeah.
because nobody
Nope.
reads comic books. They haven't read comic books. People who read comic books are people like me.
Yeah,
You know, like, I
Collectors
remember
and stuff.
Yeah.
I told you,
you got to single me and Sega forever out on stuff like that, man.
I also buy my comics, but I buy only specific stuff. So, again.
no, but Unlimited. You remember when DC was having that run for Infinite Crisis?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I went to the store. I was standing there and I looked across, and all there was, this is where it hit me. What was it like? That was the mid 2000s or the
Yeah.
2000s, around there, right? Because it was a great series, right? And they did that multiple.
oh yeah,
crossovers.
it's one of my top 5 favorites personally.
So I'm standing in the comic book store. I'm looking down the aisle, and all I see is guys like me on our lunch
Yeah.
break, in Aloha shirts, buying, buying comic books. So that's how I knew.
I hear old as hell. Right.
I mean, you're that's true because like when I think about the Sonic movies, they do very good, but I don't think necessarily it's translating to the games.
Yeah.
But the problem with that, Dea, is because the games are always given to different developers and they try different things every time.
Oh, it's
They
not
never had the
okay.
consistency since Sonic Adventures 1 and 2. When Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 hit, they became pretty big, right? And popular.
Right.
They needed to stick with that same team over and over, evolving the games through the years. But the biggest problem was the main director, Yuji Naka, left. He went, I believe, to Square Enix. And that's where he did that game that failed, even though it was a good game, which was the Balan, right? That game.
You say game failed in Square Enix, you got to narrow it down because that's every game they put out.
Well, I'm talking about his
That might have
game,
been- was that
Balan.
back when they were Square Soft.
Like his game, Balan, did really bad, and it's a good game. But since it's so old school, Unlimited, it doesn't hold your hand. You have to do a lot of the solving and the game to progress. You got to do it by grinding, work, and really playing the game.
Oh,
People
listen,
don't.
A lot of people don't play platformers anyway. So.
That's what I'm saying. But it's a platformer at its core, like really old school. Like you got to grind, find shit, know what you're doing, to obtain your powers, you got to keep unlocking them one at a time, and you can go into different areas as you unlock the powers. And that's not how people want shit. They want shit where it's just easy. You start the game with all your powers, and you just play the game.
Well,
You know?
just look. I mean, that's why most modern games have a story difficulty that just gets you through A and B. But basically, make the combat damn near a button masher so they could get to the story beats for a lot of people.
Right.
Hey, Dan, you know what it reminded me of is of Comic-Con. Like when the studios realized that, and I'm not saying it didn't help. Like I think there is some cross-pollination that's worth taking into consideration. But when you're trying to when you're investing so much money and you expect a return, that's never going to happen. So
Right,
Comic-Con
right.
went through the same thing, right? Where a lot of these people, that's why my kids, I had an opportunity to go to Comic-Con, and I was like, no. And then my kids were like, why not, Dad? You always wanted to go to Comic-Con. I was like, yeah, but it's not about comic books anymore. You know,
Yeah,
that's
it
why I
was
went
about
back.
everything else. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was kind of taking over. But then what happened? The studio realizes, because at the end of the day, you still got to make a good movie, right? So that's
Yeah,
problem number
yeah.
one. But they're realizing all the money that they're putting in, and it's just some awesome stuff, dude. Don't get me wrong, but the money that they're putting in, they didn't get that return when the movies actually came out. So that's what kind of killed that at Comic-Con, which I think was kind of good. Kind of good. I mean, I kind of missed that pop circus because I like pop culture, right? But it did detract for what Comic-Con really is. So
Right, right.
and again, that's what happens when you have when the normies come in.
Well, Comic-Con became just a conglomerate, like a space of just making money, right? As opposed to celebrating culture, right?
Well, I think a lot of people had problems because the studios came in, but you had a feeling at some point in time they weren't about, like you're saying, about the culture, or like they played it like they were, but you could tell they weren't. Like, I mean, there were people that definitely were like that, but at over time,
I think in the beginning that was the intent, but I think with all the other stupidities and the politics and narratives and you know what I mean, and stupidities like that is what made them kind of get off course. But if you look at now, what are they trying to do now? Now they're trying to course correct by going back to how they originally started, right? The rumor is now, like for example in Deadpool and Wolverine, we're gonna have Wesley Snipes' Blade come back, right? That's the rumor that he's gonna reprise his role. And why are they doing that? Because they know that by going back to the beginning, right, to where it all started, that's probably what's going to fix it. And I truly feel that's what's going to happen to games. I'll be real honest with you. I have a feeling that the game division or the game, gaming is going to crash at some point again. And they're going to have to start from scratch like the way it was traditionally. I really do feel that way, especially with all the digital shit, pushing digital harder than ever, just trying to get away from physical at all, doing the trying to cater to everybody that really doesn't care. All the things that you see going on right now, I really think is going to bring it into a halt or a crash because it's only going to be one thing and one thing only, and people are just going to get tired of it or it's just going to die down, one or the other. Because when you have options, of course you can stick to whatever you want, but when you don't have options, eventually you're going to get bored of whatever it is you got. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel that's what's going to happen with gaming. Maybe not now or in a while, but at some point. I really think that's what's going to happen. But nobody thought that Disney Marvel was going to be stopped ever. Oh my God. They're going to be unstoppable for the next 100 years.
I knew after Captain Marvel there was in trouble.
Captain Marvel. I think it was a little bit before that.
The first female superhero movie ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not counting 1984 Supergirl or Catwoman.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
With that marketing bullshit.
I think they're actually that stupid. I don't even give them credit for marketing.
There was no Red Sonia.
I'll say this though. I will say this that I did turn a blind eye in the Avengers because I was all up in my business, all up in my fields. So when I saw a little bit of that in the Avengers, that the Infinity War, I kind of let that slide, even though my conscience was pricking me. I was like, no, let me enjoy this, right? And then, but then when Captain Marvel came around, after Captain Marvel, and then that happened. But then when they kicked off the next phase, then it was realistically. Plus, I saw Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige was talking about it.
Yeah.
about what they were going to do, and I knew they were in trouble. So I don't think, just to get it back to Microsoft, I don't think Xbox is like that. I think Phil them are really trying. Again, I'll say this again, just don't overcorrect, man. I mean, money's tight right now, dude. I know that they want to squeeze every dollar, but in doing so, you could kill the brand. You know what I mean? So let's not over. I would.
Yeah, but I think there's validity in what they have said. Because remember, guys, when they released the forms during the court hearing, that Microsoft was saying, remember that they had on record, what is it, Matt Booty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying we can just kill off Sony if we really want to.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Like, what the fuck? If you got a man being real as fuck that works internally saying that, being real as fuck, because that's more than real. That's being real. He said we can kill Sony right now if we want to, and keeping it real like that. And then now a few months later, it's like, yeah, sharing is caring mentality. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
That's when you know something's not right.
That's how you know because you heard it from Phil. Phil was talking about wherever Game Pass exists. He actually wants Game Pass on something before they can get it. That's what he wanted. And I think that Matt Booty, like how he acknowledged that that what they did actually strained the brand, and he admitted that. I could just tell that he didn't like that. And and that really gave me an understanding that unfortunately Phil is getting all this vitriol like from people like Tim Dog and all that, but I think that it was something that he had to do, and he probably could not tell people and all that, so he just had to try to find the direct way to do it. And as much as we might not like it, because they lied because they went back on their word. That's a fact, because they was developing that game all along. I think that I think he probably thought that things would be more improved than it was. Like, I think they thought that, hey, we're gonna be dropping these games and on. They had to push some games back. And I just think that COVID messed them up. And then I think the acquisitions themselves wasn't smooth because they had games locked up by Sony and all. It was a lot of different things that I think that played into it. Where
the acquisition took what, almost 2 years?
Yeah, it took longer than they projected.
Only concentrating on one thing.
And I think it took longer than they expected because all those factors falling into place. And I think, in my opinion, because Bethesda, I think this started with Bethesda, with ZeniMax. That's my opinion. I don't think it started with Activision. I believe it started with them, because we know that we was already hearing rumblings that Bethesda wanted to kind of start putting their stuff in other places and all. That's where I believe that wherever that rumor came from, it could have some roots into some truths there. And maybe they were saying that because behind the scenes, Satya and them was already talking like that. Because think about it, their CFO, every time, I think it was the CFO, that guy, I forget his name. Every time he was interviewed, he said, he kept saying that games was going everywhere. He never differentiated, not once. At first, I thought it was a slip of the tongue. But he always, look at every interview where he was asked that question, he always said that. And then all of a sudden, you had Phil or something trying to correct it or whatever. And I think that I do believe in that internal battle. I think Phil wanted time. I don't think he was granted that time. And I think that Satya and the money people and all that, they won. That's what I think. And don't expect Microsoft to act as they did, because if these people are running the ship, then we don't really know what to expect out of Microsoft in its entirety.
Well, I'll go a bit further there. I will say that I think they were given the time. They believed they had the time, and they acted accordingly, right? Because that's the way that they were doing. But at the same time, they were doing other stuff behind the scenes. And then I do agree that somewhere along the line, maybe they were looking at what's happened to other companies and looking at the production, and maybe they felt like the people weren't stepping up. I'm not talking about Phil then, but other people. And then that kind of played a part in it, and this is why they're pushing now. So, but I actually think that Phil had the time and was given the okay to say that, okay, yeah, you have the time. Because, like every time you see them, you can see that they weren't rushed. You can see the way they dealt with these studios, especially when they
Yeah.
brought them in. It was that feeling that things that he said, like he was following through. You could see the actual pattern of them doing that they did it. Then all of a sudden that changed, right? And
Yeah, it felt like it just changed, like something shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and here we are now. So
Yeah.
But I also think that they thought it was going to shift immediately after COVID started getting fixed, but that's
Right.
that's not reality. Because there's still people right now that haven't been able to, you know, recuperate. A lot of places closed down.
Yeah.
They're not in that situation. They're not in that. Listen, when you're reporting a $3 billion or $1 trillion company, why the hell are you worrying about making more numbers? That just doesn't make no sense to me. Because you're already worth a shitload of money.
Yeah,
Right?
There's no
Yeah.
such thing. There's no such
money.
thing as enough to these corporations.
I
man.
agree with
You
that.
got to
Eliminate
drop
rate.
this idea. You got to drop this idea that there's no such thing as enough to them. It's just
Yeah, but I'm not saying that.
it's just part of
They just expect they're going to make money right away with something that's unrealistic and something that's out of everyone's hand.
yeah.
Like, pandemic fucked shit up big time. It changed everything.
It
Right?
did. Yeah.
So you gotta understand, even if you're a corporate dude, like, yo, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna change. It may work for one thing, but not for everything. Everything has to be done at a certain pace.
yeah, they
And
don't.
that same greed that they got, it may be here today, but with one fuck up, they might lose it in the next couple of years because they got too greedy.
I think
because
that's what Unlimited's saying though. They don't think that way. Like that doesn't.
Right. No, of course not. Of course not. Right.
And I want to also add too, I believe that the length of the whole ABK thing being dragged out as long as it
That
was,
hurt
and
too.
even still
I think
not,
that hurt.
it's still not concluded because of that crazy Lena Khan. That woman is
Mhm.
insane. But
It's your ego.
yeah, I think that was ridiculously long. And
Mhm.
even business people couldn't believe that Lena Khan was behaving that way. Because in America they had never seen anybody do anything like that.
They voted for
So,
that.
That's true. They did vote for that. Yeah. Because I mean,
Sorry, I
they
had to
didn't.
try to do that.
Nobody's removed this woman. They
But
not
little
tried to
sneak-
get somebody
Yeah,
better.
they're not going. They're not going to remove her because I told you, this is what it is. It's about power and control. They want to control everything. They don't care about gaming. They don't care about money. They don't care about none of that kind of stuff. Right?
Mhm.
It's their ideology. Like I keep on saying, with all the stuff that's going on in pop culture, because smarter people would have stopped by now. But that's not their end game. That's not their goal. That's why they look so ridiculous when they're trying to, like you look at these guys and you're like, what you're saying makes no sense. Well, it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. They're just trying to prolong it. That's all it was. I'm telling you, these guys are evil.
Yep. And that's crazy because you had two American companies trying to merge. One is going down one way or another, and they wouldn't even let Microsoft was third place. It was no reason for all of that to drag out as long. But I think that lost time also hurt Microsoft.
Absolutely. They put too much time and effort in that damn
money.
fucking case and acquisition.
Yep.
And because they did that, they spent way too much money and they're trying to recuperate it overnight. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. Because they're like, no, we got to get this money back. No, that's not how that works. You put yourself in that position. Me personally, I think the Activision acquisition is stupid. I don't think they have enough IPs that make enough money. Because if you look at the catalog, it's only maybe one or two games that actually do make money versus everything else. They would have acquired Sega. They would have had a better chance of making a more prosperous future, in my opinion, because they had a bigger, broader, more extensive, and diversified catalog. Right?
I don't know, dude. COD is such a beast, dude. I don't think
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's a beast. But it's the only game. It's the only game they got.
And
that's the only game you need, brother. That's
and
the
don't
trust man. No, dude.
underestimate Blizzard. Blizzard makes a lot of money.
Yeah,
not
Overwatch is
underestimate-
King in the mobile space makes tons of money too.
Yes, King is huge.
It's not just about the game, but I see it. I do it myself, and I try not to. I do it myself, but I buy stuff. And my daughter always buy. My daughter will complain about Overwatch. She'll complain about the no story mode. She'll complain about the no balance.
still
She'll
in
complain about the
Overwatch.
people. As she's trying to heal people, they don't understand that that a tank should be covering the team. But she'll play this thing for hours, and then every time the new season comes out or new skin she wants, she puts her money down and buys it.
Yeah.
It just makes money. I mean, I understand, brother, because it's not our mentality of how we grew up gaming. But that's
Right.
that's one of the things, and this is the conversations we need to be having. That's what I said earlier. We started talking about 60 frames versus 120 frames and all this other
Yeah, that's the stupid conversation. Nobody's talking about that. They talking about the games they engaging with every day. Nobody's talking about these frames and all that stuff. That's dumb.
Yeah, because these are real world things that are affecting gaming right now. Right? So this could actually change. And like I did it the other night, I was on Warhammer and then I bought stuff for Warhammer because I like Warhammer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fault them for not, because the money that they're gonna make on this thing. Though I do agree that these guys are, they're jumping the gun. I'm like, dude, no, just let it permeate. But again, they don't think that way.
They didn't give Game Pass the chance to prove itself.
Could
Like,
they even-
it would be a household name now if they've been given it a chance. It needs more time, and that's been my biggest complaint. And they now that you're placing games all over the place, it's going to diminish.
Well, it needs more time with actual big Goliath games, right? Because anytime they put a big game, it does what?
Yeah, Starfield was only on there for a few months. They didn't even wait till Call of Duty hit Game Pass.
That's true. I thought they would at least wait till Call of Duty.
That tells me everything I need to know. When you're not patient enough to wait for Call of Duty to clear and go to Game Pass, slow down. It's so unfortunate. Sometimes, as much as I am into the numbers and business world and all that stuff, it is unfortunate where I see just so many industries. They do the same thing that Microsoft is doing, where they just don't slow. Everybody is such a rush to try to either make as much money as possible, be the first, or whatever the case is. That a lot of industries would have just success if they just slowed down. But the people that they're catering to, usually shareholders, are in such, they got such a now mentality that they don't allow that. They don't allow them the space to, like, look, this is a project that's going to take a few years, and they'd be like, no, we invested this, we expect this in return at this time. And then what's weird is that even if Microsoft, let's say the investors got the dividends they wanted and everything's all good, instead of being content, they would be like, all right, what's next? And then what's and to me, I am by no means a business expert. I just think that there's this fallacy of infinite growth, and that, especially with these $1 trillion companies, man, they're reaching their peak, but they're not willing to just say, like, look, this is about as much as we're going to get. There's only X amount of people, X amount of resources, and all of them are still trying to do this infinite growth bullshit, including Microsoft. Of, yeah, we pulled this off, but what's next? It's always what's next instead of just being content. And to be fair, the people in that industry are notoriously greedy, because you kind of got to be a sociopath to run to like, think about it, man. You got to be a different breed of human to be the type to chase money that heavily. Like, dude, I'm all for making money. Yeah, radiance, that's capitalism, man. Like, I'm all for making money, but even I know that if I had a few million in the bank, I'd be cool. Like, at some point, that for most of us, it'd be like, you know what, I'm good. I can take care of my family, or I'm set. You'll be fine. But not to these people. It's the equivalent of chasing NBA player chasing rings to them, man.
Well, what's more frustrating, Unlimited, right?
Mm-hmm.
To your point. What's more frustrating is gaming was never about the capitalism.
Yeah, and that's no hobby is. Comics wasn't about the capitalism.
Right.
Films weren't about it. Like, no form of artistic expression, hobbyism, or whatever the case is. But the problem is, once the money comes in, it's kind of a no-go. It's like putting the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I think they call it entropy. Once that cat's out the bag, you can't go back, and that's the same with gaming right now. Maybe at worst you get a crash, and maybe it'll go back after that. But the status quo right now, nah, you can't. It's gaming right now. It's just
the type of people they put in there to run it too. They put people in there to run it that only do numbers but know nothing about the product.
Yeah, and that's by design. That's by design because you know, and I'm not trying to be like a ultra negative here or nothing. It's just the reality of the situation
I know
where
what you're saying.
the people listen. And damn near I promise you, it's every industry. The people in charge often do not give a damn. Like we are lucky to have a Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Moody, Xbox type people, because otherwise the people, usually the people that run everything they don't have a passion for it. It's
Right.
really it's the ends to a means, and that
Yeah.
ends to a means is how much money can we get and how much can we, you know what I'm saying? And part of that has, you know, that part of that is why, you know, you'll see a lot of these companies grow and stuff, but at the same time, not understanding your audience is what keeps that greed going, to the point that a lot of these companies end up crashing and burning, having a downturn, having massive layoffs, or whatever the case is, because the people in charge don't give a damn. And then not only that, when you have the success that a lot of they have at their peaks, what you end up getting is ego. And their ego is, well, shit, I may not know nothing about gaming, but I sure did make this company money. And then when they start to downturn, they still think that their ideas that worked a decade ago is going to work now. And oftentimes that's not the reality. And so, you know, just stuff like that is what kind of keeps me a bit even keeled, Hebot, to where I just look at it in the sense of, I think I got an idea what's going on. You know, obviously none of us know everything going on in at Microsoft or anywhere, but my gut just kind of tells me, I think I've seen this story before with, say, the movie industry or other forms of entertainment or whatever the case is, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, when you see this story before, sometimes you're just bracing for the ending instead of being shocked when it comes. At least that's my interpretation of everything.
Mm-hmm. Look, Microsoft is going to end up trying to put everything in every game they have and go more, and they're going to try to go software, offering hardware as an option.
That's what I think.
That's what they're going to do. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to fail in a lot of areas because people are not going to embrace their shit, and they're going to come to a point where it's going to bite them in the ass. And when it does, it might be too late. But then that's what they get for not listening to the fan base. We're not listening to the people that work in there internally that are true fans of the culture.
Do you think that they're going to push? Do you think that they're going to push by doing that they're going to be able to push Sony and Nintendo out?
No. They're going to go save
Sony's
Nintendo.
collapse on its own.
They're going to go save Nintendo and Sony. Look, if Sony says they're going bankrupt, Microsoft will be like, yeah, we're going to help them. I guarantee you, like they did with Apple.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're that weak. They don't have a backbone. All they want to do is, I want to be your grandpa and your mother and your father and your uncle. They try to be the daddy, like the parent figure in the industry, when nobody's asking them to be our parents. You see what I'm trying to say? That's what Microsoft hates.
That's very Microsoft. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're your parents. We're taking care of you. We're gonna make sure you don't do anything inappropriate. Like, look, I don't need you to be my parent. My parents already took care of me. They actually passed away, both of them. God bless them wherever they may be. I don't need no parents. Now I'm the parent to my children. You don't need to parent me. This is a hobby. I want to have fun, escape, enjoy what I play. Am I going to keep playing on Xbox? Of course, because I like their products. I like how they do things. I like their ecosystem. I like all their features, their controllers, whatever the fuck they offer is always usually superior, innovative, and cool. But I don't feel like the Xbox Series X right now feels to me like it's turning into a PC straight up. It's just an open platform. We don't got no exclusive. We do whatever we want, yeah. We don't care. So don't promote it as a console. Just say, oh, look, we got hardware. You can play games dedicated there if you want, and that's it. And then especially that they don't even promote fucking physical. They know damn well they can do physical. They don't even want to put their games on 100 gig disc. We want Sony that is broke ass is. Like, don't come with that with me. Like, come on. You're putting no effort. You just try to do whatever you want, saving money in your end. Because again, Game Pass is great, but it's always smaller games. When you do get a big AAA game, it's months or years later, unless it's their exclusives. And when it's their exclusives, you always see how Game Pass does well for a few months. Every time. When Redfall came out, it did well. When Starfield came out, it did well. When Flight Simulator came out, it did well. Forza came out, it did well. Halo, same thing. Every time you see a AAA, it does well for like 4 or 5 months. Everybody's talking about it. Then when it dies off, when the game starts to die down, then it goes back to, oh, we don't see no growth. We don't see no numbers. Like, bro, I'm not gonna. You want me to feel sorry for you? No, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you.
I'll say this about the growth, though. I do feel sorry for them because they did plan that out. They did not plan on the economy doing as bad as it is. That's why they're
Right.
not.
But the economy is a big part of it. You're right. You are
Because
right.
a lot of other subscription services are dying right now, right? So
Yeah.
they,
That is true.
We're not the only one. We're not the only one. We're not the only one.
Paramount
They're just-
Paramount is going to possibly be sold and all this stuff. Yeah, it's hurting.
Well, so a lot of people don't. So this is the way I think about it. They're not competing just as a gaming platform. They're competing for time. So they're competing against like a Netflix, and Netflix dominates everything. If we're being honest. And so when I look at that, I do feel for them, but at the same time, this is when, like you're saying, right, that they got to step in and have patience. Maybe look at the brand, have a little bit of faith in the brand, right? Because they do drop a lot of big games, right? But a lot of times you do that kind of stuff. Like to me, they felt like they should have been at a certain point, but they also got to remember, because content is king, right? That they got to keep the people in there, right? So at least that for that much. And I guess the money people probably aren't happy because they should. If I'm being honest, dude, they should have hit 50 million already.
I agree. I agree. Just
people
for the value alone, you know.
But part of that is the economy, right?
Yeah,
But the other part of that is that when you go to a store, no one is promoting it.
That's true too.
No
That's
one.
true.
You go to GameStop, they do not push Game Pass. They don't. You go to Best Buy, they don't promote Game Pass. You go to Target, they don't promote Game Pass. They don't promote any of it, and they're supposed to, because
why would they? But why would they do Game Pass?
because Microsoft pays them money.
Yeah,
To do
they do. I don't know about
Dude,
Best Buy, but I know
Listen, Microsoft saved GameStop. They saved GameStop.
Yeah, they did.
They
And they
invested
saying-
over $20 million in GameStop, huh?
But I'm saying because Game Pass is digital, right? So why would
Yeah,
these companies?
Okay, when you go buy a car, right?
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
You go buy a car or a house, they tell you all the amenities that the house come, all the perks, right? So that they can sell you on that house. Or they'll tell you all the perks in the car, all the features, so that you would go and buy that car without hesitation. No second thought, you're gonna buy that car.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with a console. When you go buy it, it's not the person that works there's job not to tell you shit. They're supposed to tell you because that's their job. Oh, Xbox offers this and they offer this. Game Pass. Game Pass, what is that? It's this. It's a game service. You pay this much every month or this much for the year, and you have access over 500 games in that service, completely full games without having to purchase them. You get day and date exclusives, even day and date third party and independent games that you don't have to go out and buy if you don't have the money. You could try it there first and then buy it later. That's their job because it's part of Xbox.
It is, yeah.
But that's the console.
I don't
Right?
care what nobody says. That's their job. When I used to go to fucking goddamn Blockbuster, what they used to tell you, oh, you get this and this and that, and you can rent this and this, and you can get this screen and play on the go. They're supposed to sell you whatever features, and that's a feature.
Okay, wait. All that aside, though. I mean, but let's be honest, right?
Mhm.
Every time I go to a GameStop or a Best Buy, I know more than the guy that's selling me. So I think
Oh,
that's
that's cool.
higher an issue than as opposed to them. You know what I'm saying? It's just a job to those guys. I guess
Yeah, it's fact. No, but there's also they also hire weirdos and biased people.
Yeah.
Because every time I go to GameStop, all I see there's Nintendo weirdos, meaning 70-year-old motherfuckers acting weird. Okay. Talk about Mario like he really exists and the Mario World land really exists. And oh, I'm about to go to Mario Land over there at the theme park. I can't wait. And they're like 50 years old, okay? That's weirdo shit. I'm sorry. Okay? And these are the people that hire because they know they're going to push the platforms that they prefer. You know what I mean? That's what.
That's a bigger problem than Xbox. That's possible.
What a weird hiring strategy, man. Being a manager at GameStop, being like, oh, so what's your favorite console? I love Nintendo. Oh, hired. What's your favorite console? I love Xbox. Oh, we'll call
I had
you.
a friend.
We'll call you
I
back.
kid you not, Unlimited. His name was Manny. This guy reminded me of Oscar De La Hoya with a beard, right? That's what he reminded me, right? That's what he looked like. And this guy talked about Nintendo like he was a 12-year-old. And anytime you mention Xbox, he's like, oh, I can't stand Xbox. They're just ruining the industry. All they want is your money. They just want to steal from you. That was his mentality. I'm like, yo, dude, how old are you? Oh, I'm 53. Like, what? 53? Like, bro. And you still want to say Princess Peach even though you get no ass? Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, I'm not joking. This is the demographic that works at these places. Or you got a bunch of emo type people working there that they only like Nintendo or they only like PlayStation. And you talk about Xbox, oh, can't stand Xbox. Their games suck. Have you ever owned the Xbox? No. I just know their games suck. Have you ever played any other game? No, I don't need to. They suck. They're not compelling like PlayStation games. They don't got compelling stories. They got two men fucking each other in the ass. Trans style. You know what I'm saying? This is the mentality and the demographic. This is the demo. Look, I'm not even trying to be funny.
I'm sorry.
No. You can laugh because it's funny as hell. I know why you're laughing, but I'm being serious. This is the demographic of workers that don't push the product. They don't.
So my question to you is though, if you're selling consoles and you're selling games, would you push Game Pass? Like, what is the reason to push Game Pass? Is what I'm
because they make money. They're making money. They're paying. All the computers that are set up at GameStop are Microsoft is the reason why they have them up. They're the ones that they invested, like I think it was $20 billion on GameStop.
I remember that.
To help
I remember that.
Yeah. They're supposed to walk around. Listen, they're supposed to walk around with a pad, right? And I know this because I know many managers, and they don't do it. And they said they don't do it because they don't like Microsoft because they don't push physical copies. I'm telling you from experience.
If they don't push physical, they don't like Microsoft because it doesn't push physical.
Because they don't push physical, they push digital.
So my question is, why would they push Game Pass then? Because Game Pass is digital.
Because Game Pass can help sell the console.
Yeah, help sell the console.
Yes,
and
it will sell
no one else
because of value.
Look, if they told every single person when that went into to buy an Xbox, Game Pass is this, Game Pass is that, the Xbox console will outsell the PlayStation and the. I'm telling you right now,
exactly.
It will
I
outsell
agree
it.
with that.
Okay, or it will be at least on par with the Switch because nobody in their right mind that's normal or smart or no parent, single mother, single grandparent, uncle, sister, nephew that goes in and buy a console is going to say no to that deal. No one is going to say no. Half the people that go by, they don't tell them shit. And then when I'm there in the line, I say, yo, why you don't let them know? Oh, you know, they got Game Pass. And they're like, oh, what's Game Pass? Oh, es un servicio de suscripción con juegos. And I explain to them in Spanish and English, right? And as soon as I tell them, they're like, oh, no, I want that Game Pass. And the fucking goddamn people at GameStop that work, they look at me with a dirty look. I don't care what you think. You're supposed to tell me what the product offers. They're not getting paid by Sony. Sony don't pay
you,
the worker.
You know you can pick up a Series S and then have all those games that you're accessing. And these are current gen games. There's no, in my opinion,
Sony,
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Sony and Nintendo do not pay these workers. So why do you have an allegiance and not sell a product? If your numbers is what makes more sense. Because then they're complaining about not having numbers. Why you think that is? Because you're only pushing one set product, not all. And I'm talking about GameStop corporates. They're upset because the numbers are not high enough. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because your goddamn workers only push Nintendo and Sony and they don't push Xbox. That's why. You're self-inflicting yourself. And then they wonder why they got to keep doing all this stuff where they're on the verge also to be completely dead. The only reason they saved them because, again, Microsoft came in and helped them. That whole thing with the stock market helped them. Oh, they've been like Sony, getting saved by the hair of the chinny chin chin.
Well, and because I don't think they have another miracle coming. So
Well, they merged with Think Geek, and that's what's helping them because Think Geek sells everything pop culture from figures, clothing.
That explains why there's more toys in GameStop than games.
Absolutely. And that's what saves them. They sell more merch, video game related, pop culture related, and figures than they do video games.
Yeah,
At this point.
I don't even think GameStop pushes games on people anymore. When you go, they be pushing.
No. They push the Nintendo shit and the Sony shit. Absolutely, they do.
Yeah, your local GameStop must be cool because the one near me, they don't be pushing nothing.
Unlimited. Once the economic downturn happened, these dudes wasn't saying nothing. They try and sell as whatever they can.
Yeah,
They
man.
push a lot of the
As soon as I go into
nothing, man. Yeah.
as soon as I go into mines, and it could be my local area for sure. It could be just that, but as soon as I go in, they're like, "Oh, you getting that Stellar Blade? It's exclusive to PlayStation 5. You getting Stellar Blade? Oh yeah, you getting that Princess Peach, that new one that just came out? It's brand new. It's exclusive." That's what they do every single fucking time.
Oh no, they don't say nothing like that at my GameStop, man. They just happy they look at when you walk in now, they look like they look at you like dying puppies, man, with them puppy eyes. Like, please buy something.
Like they're just happy that you went into the door.
Yeah, man, they happy to take your money. They don't care at my GameStop. It's like, look, man, thank you for buying something so I could keep this job. Look, man,
right.
They be looking
the only problem I have with the people at GameStop is that they're not as knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
but when they come out, like when me and my daughter come in there, they're very like, "Oh, can I help you? Are you looking for something?" Oh, and then we were looking, we're by the church. Oh, do you know that we have some? Do you like Demon Slayer? We have some figures over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll tell me like what new games came out, but they'll do all the systems. And I know Hawaii's a different beast, man, because everybody over there is starving. So like you can't like there's people working. Like I saw the Uber guy who dropped off my stuff today, man. That dude was looking hard. I felt bad for him, dude. I tipped him another extra $5.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, here you go, brother, man.
Why do you think it is that when you go to GameStop, all the Xbox and PC shit is in the front now, and PlayStation and Nintendo is in the back? Yeah. When it used to be the opposite, because Microsoft paid them to do that. Microsoft did that on purpose so that they promote. But the way they kill that noise is what they do is, okay, we have all the Xbox shit in the front, but what they do is they put all the posters of upcoming games for PlayStation and Nintendo splattered in the front window. That's how they take that shit away. And that's the first thing you see. They don't put nothing Xbox on there. You see what I'm trying to say? That's what they do. That's how they kill that. Because when you go in, the first thing you see on your right is Xbox. On your left is PC. So why should that not grab the attention of everybody first?
Yeah.
And again,
at my local GameStop, when you walk in, it's Xbox, and then on the other side, it's toys. They be pushing toys and figures hard as hell.
Well, they have to. They have to limit it. They have to. That should make the money.
On my GameStop, it's Xbox. On the other side, it's all the phones and what do you call it? Not laptops. What do you call tablets?
Yeah.
The cards, all the cards. And normally when you do the posters, it depends. Like when Zelda was up, of course, that's Zelda. When it's Pokemon, they had Pokemon. When it was Halo, they had Halo. Even though they pissed me off because they didn't have any of the merchandise I wanted for Halo. That irritated. Anyway,
guys, I don't mean to take over your show, but may I ask a question? Because after this question is answered, I'll have to leave. But first, before I do that, Radiance 96, I want to say thank you for coming.
Yeah, hey Radiance,
and thank you for your comments.
Absolutely,
we see those things. And my question is this: seeing the fallout of Microsoft bought ABK, and we've all discussed what we think about it. I think Sega Man is there. He might be there in spirit, because he might be asleep.
He might be knocked out.
So I think he's
in three different snoring lands right now.
So, I mean, everybody who has commented, I'm sure Sega Man might fill in later on his own show, right? But seeing the fallout and how the investors and all that has reacted to ABK and how it seems like they're transforming Microsoft into a more, just mainly a profit company with nothing in the middle.
Brand, that's it.
I say, do you guys even want Microsoft at this point to continue to acquire companies for Xbox? Do you even want that, or do you just want them to stop where they are?
No, they gonna, man. They're a business. They don't care what I think. So they're gonna keep. If they want to acquire something, they're gonna acquire it. You know what I'm saying? As for me, look as long as me as the consumer, as long as I'm enjoying things on Xbox, then I'll be there. If they ever lose me by doing something, say maybe putting literally every game everywhere and stuff like that, then I'll just be a retro gamer. Because as someone who now owns a Switch and a PS5, I could tell you, and listen, it'll be a cold day in hell before you ever see me on my shows be like, man, that PlayStation 5 was dope. That Nintendo Switch, man, I can't do without it, man. Because honestly, I feel like fuck those consoles. I generally think that they're behind the time. So the PS5, I think it's just a genuinely terrible console, right? And that's the only reason why it's being held up is because the people, because the current people at Xbox aren't trying to kill him off. Well, Matt Booty would if he had any real power. But other than Matt Booty and maybe Sarah Bond, the real people don't want to kill him off. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, dead brand walking.
Right.
I haven't seen a brand this dead since Marvel. Taking a shot at Sega forever there, man. But yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, though, they like Microsoft, they're gonna do what they want to do. If this is the plan going forward, and that's it. I guess ideally, I don't know, because it's weird because like Sega Forever says, man, when 90% of what they do, I still fine with. I'm just not as I don't know. I think I'd still want them to purchase shit. Just buy the whole industry, as Sega Forever would say at this point, because that's the only way you're going to get respect. Really, is when you own everything, and there's no denying your force at that point. You know what I'm saying? So go that route. Because I mean, right? Really, other than a handful of issues, I wish that they cared more about physical games. Like, because me and Hebot, we're the collectors in the group, so we're always gonna push that. Put your games physically.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah,
You don't
give us more collector's editions, because people like me have no problem dropping $150, $200 on a. Guys, I pay $300 for the Starfield collector's edition. Yeah, there's no limit to it. You know what I'm saying? Don't
as long as you got it,
like us, basically.
Yeah.
That'd be my message to Xbox. Just don't forget people like us, the ones who don't mind spending a little more, who don't mind owning physical, who don't mind that part. Because I genuinely think everything else they're doing is great. Reach more gamers, find different avenues of success. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Just don't leave us in the dust in your attempt to in your pursuit of growing.
Right.
And then everything will be fine. And I don't. And for the record, I don't think them buying studios is what caused it. I think it's just the philosophy at Microsoft and the people who. The someone like Satya Nadella, he's not a gamer, and he sees things differently. And at the end of the day, whatever he wants is probably going to happen. So yeah, keep buying stuff. I have no problem with it. The Activision stuff. I don't know how many other gaming companies are going to cost $80 billion. That's another thing, Daya. So whatever else they get going forward, I doubt it's going to be that expensive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because let's say they take some studios out of Embracer's hand, who I believe is splitting up to 3 companies.
They are, yeah.
Let's if whatever they get from them, not going to be close to a 70 billion. So it's not. So anything else they get, I don't think it's going to be a headache to the extent this was. Hell, if they pick up Sega tomorrow, not going to be nearly a headache and everything. So that's another perspective. Whatever they get is going to be a lot smoother than this, unless they get EA or Ubisoft or something, another giant like that. That might be the only, like a Take-Two. Those are like the 3 big publishers that I could see being another headache. Other than that, it'll be a lot more easy smoothing, easier ride. And then the big elephant in the room right now is going to be exclusives, and whatever they choose to do there, they're going to do, and If I agree with it, I'll agree with it. 'Cause, like that, I guess that's my mentality at the end, Daya, is that whatever they do, if I feel is best for me as a consumer, I'm going to ride with it. And if not, I'm not going to lie. I've had no issue, Daya, moving on from stuff I love.
Same, yeah.
And as much as I'm not, I admit I'll be the first to say I may not be the biggest nostalgia guy out there, but if push comes to stuff, I have no problem retiring some aspects of my gaming life. I got such a large backlog, I could stop buying games right now, Daya, and I'll probably be set for life. That's how many games I own.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm on storage of games. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my 2 cents. Yeah, I want them to keep buying. I'm mostly okay with what they do. I just need them to don't forget the Hebot to the world, because I think it's a huge mistake for people like Hebot to feel the way he feels. When someone like him has more gaming knowledge, has put more money towards gaming, has done more for the gaming community than pretty much almost anyone else I know.
Yeah.
And people like that, I still think have their place. They should fill their place in gaming. Because don't do what comic books did to the comic fans and push them away. And that'll be like my little warning. Just make sure the Hebot to the world also feel catered to, also feel like they're getting their money's worth, also feel like they you know what I'm saying. And then whatever you do afterwards, I think people will just fall in line and be okay with it.
Right.
Other than that, other than some gripes here and there, they're to me they're still way better than Sony, which I think is like I said, I can't. My thing is like I still think no matter what Xbox does, even if they throw a lifeline to Sony, that's still a dead company walking, because that's just how terrible they're run. And I think Sony is of all the big three gaming console makers, they're the ones that's on borrowed time more than any of them. And then Nintendo's going to do Nintendo shit, and I just God, Nintendo, what a disappointment they are.
Wow.
Listen, if Bayonetta 2 and 3 ever goes multi-plat, I'm selling this fucking Switch, because that's the only. You're lucky I love Bayonetta more than is one of my favorite action games from Nintendo, and somehow y'all got them exclusive. Because damn it, I must admit, of all the games that I bought for the Switch since getting one, Bayonetta is so damn fun, and it's just like, why is this behind the damn Switch? But I need them to lose that exclusivity so I could have no reason to care about them again. Because fuck Pokemon, fuck Mario, and all that stuff. But they got the 50-year-olds who can't let go of childhood and the 12-year-olds. So as long as they don't have a Wii U moment, they might be fine too. So and that's another thing. Before I move on, I don't mean to be long-winded here, guys. Before I pass the mic, no, it's not like the alternatives are any better. You know what I'm saying? So anything happens to Xbox or they do something to shoot themselves in the foot, where are we going to go from here? Because Nintendo don't innovate. Sony hates innovation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good.
Where we go from here? And I'm never going to be a PC gamer. Sorry, Daya. If my best friend can get me on PC, nobody can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And I love my friend to death, man. Been through me. Helped me out when I was a broke college student and literally couldn't eat, and got me food type friend. You know what I'm saying? A real ride or die friend.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? So that's
I know it's not an easy transition in both ways, and trust me, I tried to get PC friends to I say
Hello?
Dang. Now they getting there.
Dang.
Hello.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. And whenever Daya comes back, I'm passing the mic to
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
And they didn't want you to say nothing negative about PC.
No, I was saying that I've tried both ways to get people to try things on, because I do both, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's tough. I think it ain't got to do with bias. It just has people get used to what they get used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I learned. So that's why I say I understand. So it don't even bother me. I just go wherever other people are. I can do console and I can do PC. It doesn't matter to me.
You could adapt. In other words, doesn't really bother you.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. That's because I always maintain both. If you was a person that went to one or the other, yeah, I can see. But I always had both. So I was just used to it.
Right. Well, me, as far as damn, somebody's typing away hard body. That's unlimited. I guarantee you. He got the real speedy fingers.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just busting your chops, brother. Um, as far as them acquiring, honestly, it's kind of like what Unlimited was saying. I would want them to keep acquiring because that does give them more power. And the more power that, like, who's to say that once they acquire a whole shitload of companies, then they go back to the, guess what? You could only play it in our console because now they have the confidence because they own everybody or a big majority, right? Because that could also be a paradigm shift where they would do that. You know, because they have so many companies in their name, they don't need Sony, they don't need Nintendo. You need us. So either you come here and beg us, or we're not helping you. You get what I'm trying to say? But the reality of it, of me as a gamer, right, as loving gaming as much as I have for as many years as I have, I would want them to acquire because I know that whoever they buy, it would be the safe bet to protect, preserve, and to move forward whatever developer they acquire.
Okay.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, if they acquired Sega, then I know that would be Sega's best bet to actually go back to their roots without having to have financial worries, or that they don't have the financial backing or the emotional backing as a company or a developer, because Microsoft has so much money and they're willing to be so open in so many ways with so many developers that they will let them have the creative freedom without interfering and let them bring back all those IPs and create new ones like they did last generation with like Tumba, the Badass Elephant, or Alien Isolation. You know what I'm saying? And things like that of that nature. So I'm using them as an example. Like, I know if they picked up a company like Capcom, they're just gonna make them flourish and do well because, again, economically, creative freedom, the history they have together, as they've always put Capcom games on Xbox and they've always had a good history. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would like them to keep acquiring for the safe net, I guess would be the best way to say it, of those developers that are at risk of dying and going away, so that they don't go away and they get protected and that they get saved, for lack of a better term, right? In that aspect. The other aspect was the one that y'all said before, power. They would have a lot more power and a lot more say how, all right? Or their word would be more of the last word in the going forward, because if they own more people and more developers, right, then now everybody's gonna need them more than they need someone else. In other words, right? But as far as it benefiting me, I don't really see how it would benefit me, only in the sense that we would get it probably on Game Pass first, because if they're putting it everywhere else, then it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
I think the games will become time exclusives at that point.
Right, because they're just, everybody's gonna get to play it anyway where they want to. But I don't think, see, the truth is, I don't think that the way the industry is right now, like I said, I do not think and I do not believe is going to be able to last for another 25 years without having any type of interference or something going wrong, is what I'm saying, right? Because there's so many red flags that you're already starting to see, with people losing their game libraries, with people being upset because of things they buy and they lose them, right?
Right.
The biggest problem is that digital is the dominant force right now, and digital is not safe. It's not real game preservation. You see what I'm saying? So when Phil says stuff like that, so I'm like, no, that's not real game preservation. Stop saying that. It's not. The real preservation is always going to be on a physical disc. Or maybe if they did uncorrupted USB that never gets corrupted, that you could put your games in a file there and they're always there, or until they do something with a law where licensed games that get bought cannot be taken away by anybody, even if it's the owner, like a Paramount or Universal or whoever, or a developer, a company like Warner Brothers with something like Harry Potter. If they bought it digitally, the license is there forever. You cannot touch it. Then I'll say yes, gaming preservation is 100% there, even on the digital form, um, because again, it's a really fine line and dangerous. Like I said, I lost Crossfire X. I paid $50 for Crossfire X, and I'm talking about the campaign.
Right,
can't-
right.
I can't play it. It's gone. Okay, I bought.
I got a game like that. I had bought a while back. The Jason game where you play,
Oh,
as
the Friday
somebody.
13th.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they lost the rights to the game because it was
Well,
some
because the
legal issues, and now the game
problem with that shit there is that the two owners, right?
yeah.
There's two owners to that license. One guy literally owns Jason, right? And then the other guy owns The Mask, Crystal Lake, and the idea behind it, that it was a slasher.
What?
Those are the two guys that own it, yeah. And they're both two old fogies that don't want to let go, and they don't want to come to a agreement. And because one doesn't want to pay more money to the other in royalties, because one of them been getting royalties for years, while the main character that created the character, didn't. Now they owe him back pay, and so they don't want to come to terms. That's why you don't see no new Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
That's why you barely see any Friday the 13th merch, and it's because of that. That's why that happened. That's the reason why that game was taken out.
Wow, that's why. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that game was pretty good and everything. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a love letter to every Jason movie you guys
Oh, it was
ever
perfect.
seen.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
And even though it started off as another game that was supposed to be a homage to Friday the 13th, because the makeup and uh, makeup artist for horror movies, he was involved. His name is Mexican guy. Remember, you guys? You remember the movie Dust Till Dawn with the
I
Quentin
do.
Tarantino
I remember that movie.
and George Clooney, right? You remember that movie, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, the guy, oh no, he's Italian. He's Italian. I thought he was Mexican, but he's Italian. His name is Tom Sorvini. You know the guy that had the gun that came up from his crotch and shot him?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah,
guy
that
is
movie
the,
whack that time.
well, he is actually the guy who does all the makeup for all the horror movies.
Oh, okay.
Every makeup scene when they cut somebody's head off, cut them open, he does it. It's
Oh,
his
okay.
house. He's been doing it for years. So he started that project through a Kickstarter to make that Friday the 13th game, but it wasn't Friday the 13th, it was another game. It was
Oh,
called
okay.
Summer Camp originally.
Okay.
But then they were able to acquire the rights before all that hoopla was going on to create it and turn it into a Friday the 13th game.
Right.
And that's how that all came about. See, I know a lot of that dumb shit that most people don't pay attention to.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. Actually, I like.
But-
I
but-
find that fascinating to see how a game like that was going through turmoil over rights and all that.
Oh, you could only imagine how much deeper it goes. But those are the examples that I'm trying to say. That's the danger where gaming is right now. Because I had Knights of Valor on PlayStation, bought it. I even bought a couple of cosmetics, and the game is gone. And that was based off of beat 'em up from back in the day that they redid with better graphics, and they made it more of like RPG-ish with the beat 'em up element.
Mhm.
So it had replayability, and I really enjoyed it. And I played it, bought it, and again lost it because why? Licensing gone.
Right, right.
So when you're trying to sell me the idea of, oh yeah, you could pay $100 for this game, but you might lose the license down the road, so we can't promise the security of the game. That's when you're losing. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the fine line that I think is going to bring gaming to that point. At some point, it's just going to get where
I agree with you. I think it's going to be addressed at some point, but something egregious is going to have to happen
I think
first.
it's going to be a little too late when they finally get the idea or the point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what's going to make it more than likely have to reset itself. So again, not to get off too more and veer off too much off topic. Do I want them to acquire more? Yes, because I think anybody that gets acquired by them will be safer. Yes, there was no really other option because if anybody goes with Sony and Nintendo, they're really not going to go anywhere. That's a
Right,
fact.
right. Yeah.
And especially if you're not a fan of the product, you're not going to want to go buy a Nintendo or a PlayStation if you don't enjoy it. I enjoy the Xbox and the ecosystem. You know, if they decide we're going to put everything everywhere one day out again, like Unlimited, I have so many games I can play for the rest of my life until I die, and I still won't get to finish all of them because there's too many.
Right, right.
And in retro gaming alone, there's so many retro games I enjoy that I have with on an emulator that I could play all the time that I enjoy. It won't matter to me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Unless it's something big, like that's cool looking, like a Gears of War or Bayonetta, where I have to play it no matter what because it's awesome, or Evil West, something like that, or like Wanted Dead or Ninja Gaiden. You know, like if they made a new Ninja Gaiden, I'm there. They want. I don't give a fuck if it's multi-plat, super plat,
Yeah.
double, triple plat. I don't care. I'm a Ninja Gaiden fan, right? If they made a new House of the Dead, same thing. I'm gonna play it because I'm a big fan of House of the Dead. It just depends on the game. But one game is not gonna sell me to the point where I'm just gonna dedicate my time to one place if I don't feel that I'm getting respected as a consumer or valued enough as a consumer in that set place. Now, if that changes, then that's different. But if it doesn't, then I have to kind of fix the way I intake the hobby, if that makes sense. Right?
Right. I get it. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to change and adapt to the way that it fits me. But I won't no longer be, oh, I just care about this because I'm a fan of this. No, I'm just intaking video games as a whole in general.
Right. Right.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And Sega Forever. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, they should continue to buy. Game Pass is still their strongest service. They need content. Again, content is important. Not just for gaining new subscribers, but for maintaining the subscribers they have now, especially in this current environment. So I definitely think they need to do that. Also, Microsoft has set expectations for their brand, and they said it, not me. So they have to maintain that. This is why you see some of the momentum dying
Right.
online. And they probably should revisit that and re-examine. The other reason too, like everybody's saying, I've been saying this for a long time as well, because I hate Sony. So I would like to this is what they should have done. They should have just killed them off, and then we wouldn't be having these discussions. But if they're not going to do that, at least put yourself in a position where you're the dominant force. I'm still holding out a little bit. Like I said, I said this earlier, the rumors of Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox kind of sheds a light. Because when Microsoft decided to send stuff over, I was under the impression that we would get stuff as well. Not that I care.
Yeah,
not that I care, but I thought it would be good to reciprocate that and also to show that this is where the industry is going. And it still looks like it is, but of course, Microsoft, like how Hebot says that Microsoft likes to be a parent, they also like to throw themselves in front of the bullets.
Yeah, they always do everything first. That's true.
I swear to God, I think
they always ahead of the game every fucking time. Yep.
Yeah, I think they want to get sainthood or something. I have no idea what their thing is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. But the industry is in flux. You saw what happened with Embracer. Again, I feel sorry for Embracer because they didn't do anything wrong. What happened to them? Because a lot of people are talking about that. And I was telling this to Sega Man earlier. The reason why this became such a big deal is because of Microsoft. Right? Because nobody was mentioning consolidation until Microsoft got Bethesda, and then when they had the cojones to go buy AKB. Then all of a
Yes.
sudden, consolidation became this big thing, like out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
anybody who was doing consolidation because of the narrative switched, right? And that's what happened to Embracer. Embracer was just doing what any corporation would do. They're going to buy out these things. They had a $2 billion investment that fell through, right? There was nothing wrong with them buying the people. They were getting $2 billion. They're getting it from Saudi Arabia, which is pretty much bank, except in the case that happened to them. And this is why they fell into the way that they did.
Yes.
I give credit to
And
Microsoft.
they had, brother, adding to what you're saying, they had no experience with video game companies like the way that Microsoft does. But they were using their pocket power to buy them off because they knew they could at the time. Absolutely.
Well, I know the founder of it has a background, but of course they're a
Mhm.
corporation, so it's kind of like how
Mhm.
Phil has to deal with Satya. So I
Mm-hmm.
understand that. It's just that I hate that they're getting destroyed because of all this kind of stuff, because it's the soup du jour. Because that's how many people hate Microsoft, and I hope Microsoft at some point in time realizes this. I've told them, I've said
Mm-hmm.
it a lot of times, these people don't like you, they don't want to be your friend. So what you should do is just go in and carpet bomb the entire industry. Just go from the bottom up. I mean, if look, we all know that Microsoft is one of the most wokest companies out there, right? So you had a game that came out, right, that they always push for their ID at Xbox and all this kind of stuff. Look, if you want to have a safe space or a good environment for the games that you want to press, wouldn't you guys be in a better position if you actually ran the industry like we know you guys actually do? Right? Like this is the stuff that I don't understand why they do the things that they do. And of course, like Unlimited says, look, I don't know. I'm not a big corporate person. I'm not in their boardroom meetings. I'm just reading the tea leaves, and I just need it to make sense.
Right, exactly.
And that's what it is. But buy Sega, buy EA. I don't care if you buy Take Two. I'm not a big GTA fan. But if you buy enough of these custom companies that, again, there's always a method to their madness. So get the companies that's going to help you expand, right? Get the companies that's going to help you put out the product that you want to put out, right? Which is what they're doing. If you guys haven't noticed, dude, they're really utilizing Xbox Wire, which I think they should have been doing all this
Oh
time.
yeah, they are now. That's true. Yeah.
They're going 100% on Xbox Wire. Also, they're dropping games, so many games. There's a ridiculous amount of games that I can't keep up with it. I try and post it on my Twitter, but
Mhm.
also, I mean, Hebot is absolutely 100% correct. This is what happened when you start losing the culture of the video game side, right? I'm not saying that, like, I've been playing more games now because that's my focus instead of dealing on social media, because I can't really argue with a lot of people on social media now. When they tell me, all your games, like I said last podcast, all your games are like they say, like all your games are coming here, all your Xbox games are coming, and I
And
just
yeah,
told
you can't argue against that.
I can't.
Yeah,
So what
you
I do
can't.
is I just go play my games, and when I'm not playing my games, I'm just gonna tell you guys. I started last week. Before last week, I started My Hero Academia 4 seasons, and I'm already on the last season. I'm almost done with it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
And the sad part about that is I've watched this show multiple times. So just like to Hebot's point, this is what they got to understand. There's a culture to gaming. To Hebot's point, we're so varied. It's what makes us your best customers. But we're so varied that we kind of don't need you. Like if you're not giving us what we want, or if you're treating us badly, or if you start calling me like a right wing Nazi or some crap like that, because
Oh
I don't
yeah.
go around with
Yeah.
that agenda that you
Yeah.
want to, I can
Yeah.
easily slide off and watch K dramas. I can easily slide off and watch anime. I can get back. I can read the backlog of comic books that I have. I can do the retro thing like Unlimited,
Movie culture.
or I can still play my Xbox and the 700 plus games I have in my backlog,
Wow.
of which a majority of them have replay value.
Mhm.
So it's the art of being there without being there. It's like the art of fighting without fighting. And I think they need to be wary of that. And I think Phil Spencer is. He's in this space for the longest time. I definitely know Sarah Bond is. And we definitely know Matt Booty is. So it is what it is. But like Unlimited said, I'm not nowhere. I hate Sony, so you guys don't have to worry about me turning into a pony. I don't have a problem with Nintendo guys, except for about a month ago when they started running their mouths. But that's not a consistent thing. Plus the fact that I can't keep on playing Mario for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
not
true.
gonna
You gotta love Mario because you're gonna be seeing him repeatedly over and over and over
I'll
and
just say this.
over again.
I told the Nintendo guys this. I told them that these guys I was arguing with. I was like, dude, if you guys were the only game in town, video gaming would die. You need Xbox to be around because Xbox has the money, it has the tech, it has the ability to push the stuff forward, and we'll just wait for you guys like we always do to come along, so that Pokemon 25 might be online.
Pokemon 25.
Yo, the amount of Pokemon fans that started to get what's that word, standards after Power World is hilarious.
Oh, that was hilarious,
goodness,
dude.
yeah. Man, Power
That's-
World.
They realized
where
what
the
they were
game
missing
should've
out
been.
with Power World. Like, whoa, this is what a monster catching game could be like.
Yes,
It don't have to
true.
be this boring, behind the time, poorly animated nonsense.
And
Mhm.
the good thing is they ain't done yet because I heard rumors that they got an update coming up. Now you're gonna have PvP. So they're pushing it ahead. It's gonna. I think that game is gonna be really nice when it's completed. You know?
Yep.
Don't worry, it'll be on PlayStation.
It could. I
Yeah,
don't know how
that would be
long I don't know how long the exclusivity is. I don't know.
Well,
I
the
don't
guy
even
who
think
shot
there was
down-
an exclusivity deal. It just so happened to be easier to put it on Xbox. I really
Oh,
that's probably the case.
okay.
Yeah.
But at least Microsoft kind of reached out to him, and he felt that. So he was
Yeah,
really-
yeah. Hopefully they don't do what other companies have done and stab them in the back. You know.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. They're too small right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, plus he does seem to love the interaction with the
Okay.
PC and the Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put that on PlayStation. You at worst you're gonna get the negative trolls.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. They're gonna try to persecute the game. I think the game will be a lot more ready by the time if it does ever go to PlayStation. So
Dude, I heard stories of Japan. That Japan was reverting to the Japan of old. They was telling people, you better not talk about Power World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Pokemon's the bigger brand.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there we go. That's that fire I remember from Japan. From back in the
Pokemon
day.
sucks.
Well,
though.
they
I
can
wouldn't
have
be proud
their
of it.
104th Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's what they want. I ain't here to like I said, I don't gatekeep, but for those of us who want a game that excels beyond that, we can play Power World. So.
You know what it was? That's the first time I saw weakness in a Nintendo fan of Pokemon.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
That's the
true.
first time I saw them react. I was like, ooh, you do
They
bleed.
felt threatened by Power World.
It's like the Superman said to do you bleed? That's what I was thinking when I saw those guys. I was like, oh, a reaction. You guys are alive. Okay, that's great.
You silly. Okay, well, I definitely think you guys. I'd say real quick for me
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
I just got a quick response and then I have to go. But I on one end, if it's going to transform Microsoft too much and that they lose what it is that brought them to where they are, I'm a little nervous about them continuing to acquire, but I do believe it's a lot of benefits to them acquiring.
Yeah.
So as long as they understand that, yes, you're evolving as a company because you say we're going to trust you on your word for this. You're saying the industry is changing. You have to make these moves, but don't forget the people that has always stood by you. You don't do that. In my opinion, a company doesn't last long when they do that. They just don't. And so, and I think the Xbox brand would be damaged beyond repair. Because I can tell you now, the ponies don't care about you, and Nintendo don't. And no matter and PlayStation, I'm sorry, and PC, they get everything, so they have no loyalties. It's not that they're against you, but they don't have to be like, oh, it's just this brand. They don't have to because they're getting everything. So I just tell the people at Xbox, treasure what you have because these people have been through thick and thin with you. And I think they want to share in the good with you now. And don't like thumb your nose at them now that things are working in your benefit. And and you think the grass is greener on the other side because that's not true. It isn't.
Mhm.
And that's all I'll say about it. But yeah, do I want them to acquire? I absolutely do. For all the reasons you guys said. I hope they continue to do so. because I do believe that the games at least will go in more places. It won't get kept to one box or some little handheld or something like that, So I think it would be better in Microsoft's hands compared to the other two.
Yeah, but Dale, even in this is a time for them to strike because there's no other company that can do this right now, and they can't even do
No.
it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the whole. I really think that what happened with ABK got them thinking twice about it. I think I personally think they're waiting to see who wins the election because Lena Khan could be gone if Biden doesn't get back in there, right? So I think they could be watching that too because they still dealing with that with her. That's not done, So they still got to finish that before they can move to the next step. And I think that's actually what's probably keeping them more than anything from acquiring again. I think they'll probably acquire some if they're doing it from a private company or something, but not, in my opinion, Xbox ain't used to doing anything small anymore when it comes to acquisitions. I think they're gonna shoot for Sega next.
yeah, but the problem I'm having with Microsoft that whether it's big, small, whatever the political ties, whatever, they're always reactionary.
They are, but that's their nature. I don't think they ever want to change.
Well, this is how they get stuck in these situations. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not bold enough. They're just not. They act like a leader, but they don't have the traits of one.
Because I'm telling you, if the economy's okay, so let's say, sorry, right, we're gonna get political here, right? Say things a certain way at the election, and then the economy recovers, right? Or at least tries to recover, or at least the people get the idea that at least it'll loosen up the purse strings, right? Let's say that happens, right? You want to be there. You want to be there, ready to meet those people.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to meet those people at the door and be ready to put your cash down.
Yeah.
Or to have the product when they put their cash down.
Take your leg off.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I think you're right because it's got to be a turnaround at some point, right? And they should be planning for that turnaround.
Because I say this. I'll say this again. Sorry if you guys get mad, but I just got to say this. I have a good sneaky suspicion who these guys voted for, right? And because they don't see it, and that their politics don't allow them to see, the leaves from the trees, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't realize that it is really the economy that's doing this. And I'm talking about economy as in people are tapped out, right? There's no more checks coming from the government, right? Yeah. Everything costs a lot of money. It doesn't matter like what. Everything costs a lot of money, so it doesn't matter what you do. You're just gonna pay for the note, right? And then last but not least, but everything that's going on, right? People are maxed out on their credit cards, so there's no options.
Yeah, you're right.
People are in debt, right? They can't get back on track, and this is why you see some of the stuff happening in the economy that you see right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope that there's somebody there that factors this stuff in, because, and I'm not saying that the economy is so bad, like we might not recover from this. Right? That's that could be the reality. A lot of times when things like this change, stuff it's hard to go back.
Okay.
So hopefully, though, if things do get better, right, that they'll be there to meet the consumer where they are.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I worry about with them.
I agree. I think that's some good points that you brought out there.
Yeah.
That I didn't even consider, honestly.
I just want them to be. I'm just like, dude, don't wait. You gotta strike. You gotta be there, dude. You gotta strike when the iron's hot. You guys had an opportunity when COVID hit. You know what I'm saying? Like stock and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'd say they got to do that, and they can't let the brand slip any more than it has. Because, like I said, Matt Booty already acknowledged that there's some strain on it because of those decisions. So,
it's like Radiance was saying right here. In my opinion, Xbox ruined their momentum after getting their.
Nobody's talking about them in the same hype anymore. And in some cases, some people have moved on. They feel
I see that firsthand. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's just like you still have the rank and file on the pony side. They'll never change. They'll always be there.
Not yet.
There's no voices pushing back except for a few.
Just a few. It's actually diminishing over there too. That's the crazy thing,
Well, I mean, we're like we're going other. There's other things we're finding to do. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But I'm still like after this is done, I'm probably gonna play Warhammer. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm later on, I'm gonna be watching the Knuckles TV show. I can't wait to watch that. Like I said, I love Sonic, so
Yes. Yes.
so yeah, I can't wait. You know, after coming off of Fallout, I'm ready for the Knuckles TV show. That'd be good, you know.
But hey, Microsoft, you guys are rich, so you got that. So awesome.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. A good brand is invaluable, in my opinion, and it takes nurturing and protection. And I hope they understand that. Don't treat it like it's some used tissue or something like that. You definitely have to take care of it and nurture it. And you know, they do
I
that, they'll
think
be
they
okay.
see what they're doing as nurturing it, though.
Really.
And yeah. Do you
like
hear
the
what they say? They I really and truly believe that they think that these moves are what's best for Xbox and blah blah blah. Well, at least some of them do.
Yeah.
And so when if they hear nurture, they're like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Right.
You know? And to be fair, you know, if I ran a company and it was that success, like if I ran a company and I was a product of a 70 million Activision, you wouldn't be able to tell me shit either. So I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know, there'll be a part of me like, who are these people telling me what to do? You know, so I kind of get, you know, I kind of get what they're.
All right,
You know, I don't, huh?
all right, there, Bill Gates.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bill
exactly.
Gates.
Exactly, man.
Buying up our land.
I mean, that's human nature, man. You gotta humble yourself when you're that successful. In my opinion, man. You gotta be like, yo, we might have pulled this off, but we still gotta keep our foot to the ground because it'll be hard, man. Because listen, sometimes I got an ego and I ain't rich, but I'm doing pretty well, and I'm like, you know, I'm doing pretty well, and there's that part of me like, shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so when someone's that, you know, when someone's been that successful at their job, part of me kind of get it. Like, hopefully, feel them. They stay humble. They continue to listen to, you know, at least give our side some credence. You know, you don't have to just listen to us as if we know what we're talking about, but just understand that we love Xbox too, and our,
Right.
you know, and
Right.
take our words. Because I would almost bet if I went to Microsoft now, a lot of them would hear Daya's words and think that, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, Daya. Well, you know, and we might see things completely differently.
Yep. And I just at the end of the day, I hope everything works out for everybody, not just them.
Yeah,
Oh, Microsoft. Yeah.
except
yeah.
for Sony.
Yes.
Except Sony. Yeah. Sony needs to get like humbled. So I definitely they need to. I don't know why people keep saying they're the market leader. I don't even consider them that. So, but
Oh, they're not. They never
yeah,
have.
that's a joke at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to go now, guys. So
Yeah,
All right, yeah. Have a good night, Daya. I didn't realize it's almost 3 a.m.
it's very late. Yes, I have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do my outro. You're
go
doing the
ahead.
outros,
Yeah.
right?
We'll do outros now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I am Dia4568. You can usually find me in Sega Man's show, or if I catch it, I haven't been lately, but Sega Forever or The Unlimited Truth. I'm usually around those three. And you can always find me in the chats of most of these guys' videos when they post them up. Even Tuckmaster, who I haven't seen in a long time. I hope he's okay.
And he drops some videos. So
Did he? I've been so busy lately. I haven't been able to keep. I do listen to everybody's videos after the fact. That's not live. That's the thing, you know.
oh yeah, me too.
But yeah, just yeah, you can usually find me around this group. And you know, I lurk in other places, but I don't participate as much anymore. But yeah, you can usually find me around this group. Okay. Anybody else?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Unlimited.
Yeah, it's your boy Unlimited. I do the Unlimited Truth. That I'm trying so hard to get time to make it return, but it's like this week I'm busy. This tomorrow I'll be busy.
Wow.
So it's more. It's right now. It's just a huge time issue on why I haven't done it in a minute. But yeah, it'll be making a return soon. At this point, it looks like it's going to be sometime in May. But yeah, the Unlimited Truth will be back soon.
Awesome. Heba?
Eva, you want to shut yourself out, buddy?
Yeah, this is Heba, the turncoat twister. That doesn't like Xbox anymore, like pissing off Xbox fans and PlayStation fans. Now I'm really, really down and out because I'm getting shackled by everybody. I will do more video of every video game I like playing, but not of a particular company because I can't defend a company that don't want to defend itself. It only wants money. I don't want to look stupid, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Unlimited.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I thought you were going to say something funny.
Oh no. I had nothing to say. I'm just drinking water.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
was about to go in.
But if you do wanna find out about anything pop culture, like that's related to retro stuff or figure related or even movies, you can still follow my channel because I'll still put stuff up. I just been busy trying to move into a new home and that hasn't happened yet. And to this point, and I need to be out by the end of June, so I'm trying to, really focus on that. And I was trying to recover getting a new car because I lost my car. It was totaled in a flood storm, and I was finally able to get something. And it's just been busy, man, very busy. So it's not that I'm not around. It's not that I don't care. It's just I have to have the time. Like Olin said, I'm trying to find it right now. Plus all of my medical appointments that I have to go to, from the eye doctor all the way to my neuropathy doctor for my leg, my spine doctor for my back, my endocrinologist for my diabetes, all types of wonderful, my heart doctor, et cetera, et cetera. I got to make sure that Heba is not dying, not just yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's where you can find me on YouTube on the Heba and all social media platforms. All that information is down in the description on my channel. So, not to be too long-winded. And it's been a great marathon podcast again. Talking with,
All good.
with my friends and my familia and gaming and in real life. These are my brothers and sisters. I appreciate every single one of them because they're fantastic, wonderful people and treat me with a lot of love and respect. And they still like me whether I'm the most hated man on the gaming industry.
That's Tim Dog, bro. You're good.
That's Tim Dog. Yeah, you ain't nowhere near. Yeah.
Nobody can touch that dude right now.
Well, I'm probably catching up to him when I have people that I'm so fond of and fan of, like Gogo Po telling me go fuck myself. I'm probably catching up to Tim Dog and not even know it. Unbelievable.
Dude, that dude's he getting it from all angles. That guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's not a day that goes by. I mean, I still follow him, but there's not a day that goes by. He don't throw himself under the bus, feel sorry for himself. That's not what we do here. Again, we're gonna talk to you guys honestly. We're gonna talk to you guys. We'll talk about these things because these are the things that we should be talking about at Xbox Pass. Understand if you guys don't like it, man. You guys don't have to participate. Now, no harm, no foul, dude. No hate. I mean, everybody has to make a choice, but this is the direction that we had, at least on this podcast. Because it's stuff that if you're an Xbox guy, it's stuff that we need to talk about. So, but yeah. So
right. I'm excited to play Hellblade next month, so at least we'll be talking positive about that. I hope.
Yes, Unlimited said he's gonna talk about Hellblade. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they dropped 4 games this week that are 4 of which I want to play. Besides the other stuff I never got around to playing, and then I just got a notification for like 4 games that I wanted to purchase. All are on sale for less than like $13.99. I was shocked because they're really good games. So I'll just probably add to the library, that I have. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming on. Again, the Wrecking Crew podcast will be back in another 2 weeks. Next week we're going to be doing the Popcast. If you guys want to join in on that, you guys are more than welcome. I'll just shoot you guys invitations. There's a lot of stuff there's some stuff I actually wanted to talk about. Pop culture, though it's video game focused, but we can do that next time. But thank you guys.
All right. I said, all right. Sounds great.
Yeah, dude. I actually wanted to talk about the girl. It's Stella Blade or whatever, but like I said,
Oh, Stella Cheeks.
Oh, right. The whole controversy thing. Yeah.
you know, if I have time, I might do a podcast tomorrow. And I'll send invitation if you guys can join. If I have time, I'm not sure. I just got a text from my daughter, so that's why I got to wrap up the podcast too because I got to be ready. So yeah, Xbox All In, post Sega Forever. Thank you guys for being here. Radiance, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. 100 stopped by as well. Sega Man, thank you, my brother. I know we probably lost you, but you used the podcast and just say thank you for we rocked out in the beginning until everybody else came in as well. So yeah, guys, well, Xbox All In channel, post Sega Forever. We out.
Bye.
Peace.